Hi everyone, welcome to Babies with Knives. Tonight we're going to be playing for a segment we call Monday Night Madness. Part of this madness is most of us at the table will have never played the system before, and we're going to be somewhat learning as a group. So this is going to be fun and entertaining. Tonight we're going to be playing Apocalypse Prevention Incorporated, and I will be your GM, Alice Peng, aka Lala Twiddle, and below me is my co-host, Brandon Powers.
Howdy, everybody. This one's a great game that I've had the pleasure of reading a few times over the years. It's by Third Eye Games. Eloy Lasanta is the big mastermind over there, and I'm super excited to actually let dice hit the table and see how it goes.
Awesome. And over up in the next column, we have Kevin Scarth. Hey, Kevin.
Hey guys, yeah, looking forward to diving in. And it's sad that I can't remember the superhero adjacent game we played using a similar rule set, but I liked what I saw there. So,
AMP. That game was
yeah,
AMP.
thank you. Just you're at the mercy of a confused old man, but we'll do what we can.
You're fine. And below Kevin is our friend Aldo Regalado, co-author of Super's Revised Edition. Hey, Aldo.
Hello, good to be here again.
Good to have you here as always. So we had a character creation session off camera, and everyone's created some characters that we'll be playing for the next few weeks. Brandon, why don't you tell people about the character you created?
Sure, I am in the world of not AMP, that got into my brain all of a sudden. In the world of Apocalypse Prevention Incorporated, it's kind of like a Men in Black universe where instead of we're dealing with aliens, it's demons. And so we're all part of an organization that has some human agents and some demon agents. I'm kind of a mix of the two because I'm going to be a pattern. That's a genetically engineered human being for something to be, super trained at something. So the name that she was given is Claudia. There's this a group of demon people called the Vermen, which are rat people. I'll let Kevin tell you a little bit more about them in just a moment. And they made me basically to be a perfect weapon. And I'm traveling around with Kevin's character because of that tie with the Vermen.
Awesome. And Kevin, why don't we have everyone learn a little bit about you?
I am playing a Vermin. Traditionally, they're very good with science and inventions, tech. My character runs kind of counter to that. He joined because his family's been a long time server of Apocalypse Prevention Incorporated, but he got a chance to go out in the field and he liked it. He likes guns, likes them a lot. Um, his name or the name he goes by, I don't know if it's his real name. He calls himself Rizzo, no last name, and he frequently sits around just chomping on a cigar.
Awesome. And Aldo, what about you?
All right, so Dan DeFalco was a reporter who had latched on to things supernatural and bizarre and was always trying to write stories about them. And he was having difficulty getting published by his reputable newspapers. And, the more that he was not given the time of day by serious newspapers, the more that he was insistent on doing that sort of thing. And it got him into trouble. He ended up pursuing something a little further than he should have, and in the resulting conflict, got his arm ripped off and was left basically for dead. And the organization that we work for found him. He had gathered some information that they probably needed. They they patched him up, gave him a cybernetic arm, and they gave him a new purpose in life to basically actually pursue the things that he's been wanting to pursue and take him seriously. And so that's what he does. He is not a combatant by nature. In fact, he is decidedly uncomfortable in combat, but he is a good investigator and he's good with kind of social skills and whatnot.
Okay, wonderful. So, as I mentioned before we got started, we're going to be starting this game in media res, and we'll utilize things like flashbacks to skin out and flesh out some things. But when we start, you guys are going to be feeling groggy and hung over. You guys have these pounding headaches, and the first thing you become aware of is the sounds of a busy diner. And as you look around, you'll find what was reminiscent of a 1940s to a 1950s diner, and I have a picture up for you guys in our private chat. I'm not going to be sharing the artwork with the whole wide world because I picked stock art, but I don't know what is public use stock art and not, so I don't want to get myself in trouble. But you guys find yourselves in these red booths, and for the day, I'm going to say that the ghost is going to be sitting with you here. He'll just be quiet. He'll basically be knocked out. And so 2 of you on each side. The ghost being John's character that will be joining us next week. And the diner tables, they look well used. They've got dings and scrapes, and there's definitely bubblegum and other icky things under the dining table that haven't been scraped off in quite some time. And the booths, it's a worn out pleather red booths, and there are areas that feel like the foam is not quite supporting your weight, and it's kind of crooked feeling because there's a part of the foam that works, and then another part feels like your butt is on wood. And it's a bustling diner all around you.
What the heck? He's coming. We're coming out of it?
You're coming out of it. You don't remember how you got here. You guys remember that you're API agents that, in general and such like that, and you must have been on a case. But right now you can't quite figure out how you got here or what the case was.
Yeah, hungover and wondering where my pants are is Monday morning a lot for me.
What is
I was gonna say.
hungover?
And Brandon, that's why I know. Again, breaking character. All those Don and Brandon.
Brandon is Claudia.
Yeah, I'm Dan actually.
Dan, sorry.
Dan,
Claudia.
Rizzo, and Claudia. And do we know what John's name is?
I do not remember right now, but like I said, for the time being, he is going to be unconscious next to you guys, and he is a ghost, and so him being unconscious with his head kind of on the table, with a little bit of drool coming out, it's kind of weird to see that as a ghost.
Man, I thought Casper got it worse than I did. That's all I know. Claudia, hungover is the price you pay for the previous evening's poor decisions.
Well, I don't earn money. But my head is pounding. Perhaps I paid in alternative currency.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Alternative currency.
And as you guys are trying to shake this off with each other, trying to figure out what is going on, a young woman, probably about 17 years old, red hair. Her hairstyle is very much this retro glam, that looks like basically she's out of the 40s or 50s pinup art hairstyle with the roll style and such. And she's got a white diner hat, and on it's got red lettering on it that says Macy's, Maisy, MAISY''S. She's in this candy stripe waitress outfit that, vertical red stripes with white on the background. Red seems to be a common theme in this diner. And she comes up and she pulls out of her apron a little pad to write on, and she snaps her bubble gum and says, and what'll you have this morning?
Coffee to start.
Yeah.
Sorry, all out.
What?
Well, we got decaf, but it'll take a few minutes to get that refilled. Decaf good for you?
Definitely not.
No.
He's looking at the red now and wondering if he's literally in hell.
Yeah. What?
Pop said the supplier they had something going on, but I guess that I can check in the back, see if somebody misplaced a can of coffee there. Anything else?
If we are to drink, can I please have water?
One water. And what will we have for breakfast? She taps on the menu, one of the open menus in front of you. You guys don't remember having had menus in front of you a moment ago.
Do you think we can have a second before we order? We got busy talking, and I need to just look at the menu.
Yeah, sure. So 3 coffees for you and some water. Coming right up.
Now
And
he's gonna scan the. So she's obviously dressed retro. He's gonna try to scan the details of the room to see if it's like a theme place where everybody's dressed retro, or if it's like we're in the 1940s and the guests, the customers, and everybody are dressed that way. Look out the window, see if you can see vehicles, that sort of thing.
okay. So when you look around the diner, there are synchronicity issues around the place. You're not. There are aspects of it that you swear that it's a period between 1920s and 1950s, late 1950s, and then there are and the material definitely seems authentic. The clothes definitely seem authentic. It's the right buttons, it's the right collar, and such like that. But it's a spread of stuff, and there are small anachronisms in the way that things are built. Like some of the stools at the bar, you swear that the metal just something about it doesn't look right to you on the metal. It almost looks plastic on the stems of the stools. Looking out of the window, you see a series of parked cars that look to be the time period of roughly 1920s to 1950s. Why don't you also roll me a perception check? And everyone can roll me this that's looking around.
Okay.
And this is going to
Sorry.
be insight and perception.
Insight and perception. So I rolled a 15 on the die. I have 7 perceptions. That's a 22. I have an insight of 7, so that's a 29. And then I have a +2, which I don't know. Yeah, so I guess it's a 31, right? I have an
Okay.
additional +2 that came from it. Yeah.
So actually, as you look out of the window, Aldo, you start seeing a very different scene. Like it superimposes on each other. You see the cars, and then you kind of see as if something is faded out into overexposed or like photoshopped overlaid onto each other, and you see what looks to be basically overgrown grass and overgrown shrubs just outside the window. As you keep looking, some of the cars don't look like they're there, and one of the cars looks basically like just a bucket of rust, made of a bucket of rust. Kind of like, if you were in an abandoned town, one of those ghost towns kind of feeling. And it just kind of sorry, go ahead.
Does it feel like the reality that I saw first is superimposed over that one, or vice versa?
You're uncertain. It's really hard to tell, but you do see that there are 2 realities vying for superiority at the moment. What about the 2 of you? What did you guys roll on perception?
23.
23. Okay.
Exactly the same as Brandon, 23.
Okay. So both of you, looking around the room, you also notice that there are some anachronisms when it comes to the time stuff, and you both of you catch a glimpse of at the door that where the bell is. You swear for just a moment that the bell looked rusted, and that the metal hook on it looked basically like it was dangling with a broken bell, and that the whole armature of it is rusted. And it was just for just a moment, and then it's back to normal. The menus in front of you, with that perception, you'll also notice what the menus in front of you, they have this big Macy's diner sign on the top, their little logo and such like that. And the words on it, actually, you can read it before you start scrutinizing it. But as you start scrutinizing it, the letters start to try and run away from you. They start to word salad and scramble. And it becomes harder and harder the more you try and focus in on it. When you relax your eyes and you let it just be again, the words come back together to to omelet and the egg in a basket, and a bunch of different things you'd expect at a diner. You know, a patty melt, stuff like that.
All right, guys, are you seeing what I'm seeing? This postmodern cafe looks like it's overlaid over another place, or the other way around. Can't really tell. But I'm betting it's overlaid over someplace else that we were. Now, do you guys remember what that place was? Because I sure as hell don't.
I can't think of that, but I don't think that anything on this menu is something that I'm allowed to eat. As I'm flipping through the little jukebox thing, the menu there, and I'm looking at the names of food songs basically, and so green onions, perhaps that is something that I could eat.
Brandon, do you have any sort of cultural knowledge on your character? No. Okay.
That is not in my program. That's what I've got Rizzo for.
Okay. You know what? All of you made really high perception. So when she's flipping through that, if either of you have any sort of cultural knowledge, you guys can roll it.
I have the knowledge skill, but I guess I wasn't aware that I had to specify.
Yeah, you pick a
things
field.
under it.
You pick a
I
field.
pick a field. It would make sense that for him. It would be like the occult, because that's what he was. You know. So.
Okay.
I'll double check. I have the knowledge. Do you pick a field? Hang on, so I'll go to knowledge. I thought you picked the specialty, not a field.
I believe for knowledge, it's specific that you pick the field, and then you'll pick specialty as on top of, because I believe knowledge isn't just all knowledges in the game.
Okay. That makes sense.
What would I have taken? Let me take a look here real quick for you.
Okay, sure. While you look at that, Brandon. Yeah, you look at that there, and there are definitely some songs that have to do with words. There's, cherry pie, for example. So, you could eat cherry pie, right?
No, I am not allowed.
Oh, you're not allowed to eat cherry pie.
That would have a negative effect on the biology that I have been constructed for.
So you
Dan, they lied. I see Java right here. Perhaps Mr. Hurt has it for you.
You're fun, kid.
Yeah.
So did you figure out if you would know some pop culture knowledge type things?
Looking at knowledge, it's not listed, but for Rizzo, it would probably be in quotes tech stuff.
Okay.
He likes gadgets and things.
Gadgets and things. I'm going to let you all roll some knowledges. Brandon's the least likely to actually notice this, so I'm going to give him the biggest negative. But you guys can all roll some knowledges, because it's stuff that, you can pick up without that. I'm just going to give you a negative.
I'm only an 8.
Okay, Brandon, you're not going to pick up on this.
Add insight, intellect. What do you want us to add, Adels?
It would be intellect in this case.
Okay, so good. That's a very good one for me. So 20, can't do math. 28 before modifiers from you.
28. You do catch that cherry pie is on that list by warrant.
That would not be warrant at that point if they were staying in it, but there is a cherry pie song. Okay.
There is a cherry pie song by Warren.
What Lala is telling me.
You also notice that there are a couple names that don't seem right. Billy Joel, instead of Billy Joel, it's Joel Billy.
Yeah,
catch that.
We're just in whacked out cuckoo town, Dan. That's what I figured.
Yeah.
So the waitress, she's going from table to table, offering, bringing dishes of food, plates of food, and she's taking orders. Are you guys going to wave her back at this point, or are you guys just going to keep staving her off? Actually, at this point, she would come back with some coffee. About this point, she comes back with some coffee and a glass of water, Brandon. And so she pops down 3 cups of coffee, and they're I wouldn't say they're hot coffee. It's kind of a little bit, lukewarm coffee. And the glass of water looks great, Brandon. It's clear, clean water. And she says, 3 coffees and a water. You guys ready to order?
You know what? I'm actually not that hungry. I think this coffee will do. You know, he'll put like a nickel on the table or whatever.
Okay.
Or a dime or whatever he figures a coffee would be worth in 1950 or whatever, 1940. And then he's like, you know, we just came into town a little while ago, and we're not really oriented very well. We're looking to do some. We're looking for somebody. We're wondering if the town's got a sheriff that we could talk to. Could you point us in the right direction?
What kind of town do you think we are?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out.
Well, the police station's just that away, about 3 blocks. Maybe
That's what I figured.
Yeah, but you sure you don't want some food? Best omelets in town.
Maybe later.
All right. And she, leaves you with the coffee, takes the dime that you left, she puts in her pocket, and she mumbles to herself, "Lousy, tip us," as she's leaving, as she moves away from you.
All right, guys. Look, I'm not too given that we just woke up from a groggy state. I'm not too keen on eating or drinking anything here until I figure out what's going on. So, what do you think we try to head to a local authority figure of some sort or something like that, and see if we can get some, talk to somebody about maybe figuring out where we are? Or do you guys have a different angle you'd like to play?
Nah, works for me.
We should go.
Well, as you guys decide that you guys should go, as you guys are packing your things up and about to stand up and leave, the bell over the door rings, and a gentleman comes walking in. And he immediately, you guys just get the shivers. There's just something not right about this guy. And he's big. He's, over 6 feet tall, and best way for me to put it is he's kind of got the Kingpin figure. Kingpin from the comic books figure. And he just struts up towards the bar. And I'm going to keep with the perception check you all made earlier. You guys notice that he's got a gun strapped behind him underneath his coat.
He's going to tap whoever's next to him and point, gun. You guys probably already saw it, but he wants to make sure that people who know how to fight better than he does are the ones aware of it rather than him.
And the man leans into the guy manning the counter, who's seems to be mixing some malt shakes, and starts to whisper. And the guy who's mixing the shakes, his face just goes ghost white.
We able to hear?
Go ahead and try. I'm gonna make you guys make a new roll for that perception. It'd be insight and perception.
24.
Okay.
I didn't roll too good.
What about you, Brandon?
I'm only at 20.
Okay, what about you, Rizzo?
No, I'm sitting on like a 13.
Okay. So Brandon and Aldo, you guys hear little bits and pieces of the whispered conversation, and it sounds basically to you like something out of, especially for you, Aldo, for Dan, it sounds like something out of a cheap detectives or gangster TV show. It doesn't seem like a full conversation, and it definitely doesn't seem realistic in the way that he talks. But he's like, Danny Two Tones is looking for you.
Danny Two Tones.
I get up, Alice.
Okay.
Who is Danny Two Tones?
Guy looks at you and goes, and who are you? You don't look to be around from around here.
I'm Claudia. No, I woke up here.
Well, Tony Two Tones ain't none of your business.
but you said it in a way that I heard. I was interested in finding out more. Why would he look for this gentleman?
Business. Private
What?
business.
Perhaps it would be best not to conduct private business in a place where people are to investigate.
He looks you up and down.
I'm probably a little bit taller than him based on what you said.
Okay. You,
Then-
some sort of, you a cop?
No, I am not a police officer.
All right, well, Tony does some business around here, and, some people owe him some money
Is that why you have your gun?
for personal protection.
Those who taught me told me that guns are for people that are unwilling to take risks themselves. They often hide at too great of a distance. She kind of looks back at the table because it was kind of snide remarks they made about Rizzo.
Hey, look, lady. I was taught to never strike a lady, but you keep talking like that, and you're in for a beating.
Why would you do that?
Because you gotta mind your own business around here.
Where is here?
Dreskel, California.
I turn back to my table. We're in California, and start walking back over there. The nice gentleman with the gun has told me that. Dreskel, California. Is that related to the strawberries?
Do any of you have geography?
No, not specifically.
No.
We,
It's under knowledge, I think, so no.
Okay. Yeah, let me just go double check knowledge real quick. And make sure. But yes, I believe that for knowledge you guys want to be focusing in, but I think you guys can I can be allowing you guys to roll without with some negatives. Do you remember, Brandon?
Knowledge, to my knowledge, is something that you're supposed to pick.
Okay,
but,
that's what I thought.
Suggested specialties they have. So information is the lifeblood of API, not just who's doing what and when, but general knowledge as well. Agents with at least basic understanding of a number of different fields are prepared to deal, blah, blah, blah. An IQ knowledge check is made each time your character attempts to recall a specific fact or piece of information. So yeah, I think it's just the specialties are the focused, and this is
Okay.
just kind of the
Sure,
general
knowledge.
information
Okay,
of
so
random
okay,
stuff.
cool. I've got a pretty good knowledge.
cool. Why
base.
don't you guys roll me some knowledges and see if any
Okay.
geography pops into you.
Pops into you. Oh my God! Watsonville just struck me.
22.
22. What about you? What about you, Rizzo?
Apparently, I'm playing the same game today, 22.
Brandon, what about you on knowledge? Do you have knowledge?
No, and
Okay.
I don't think that I'd have that.
Cool. For 20 on a 22, you guys do remember. You guys remember Dreskel, California, and you guys suddenly realize, wait, you guys were briefed on Dreskel, California. There's some memory that suddenly flashes, and we'll go back to that flashback in just a moment.
Okay, if this is something that we were told about, I've got
Yes.
a 22 as well, actually.
Okay.
Amazingly enough.
Well, you guys are going to have a flashback in a moment to this briefing. But Dreskel, California is a small town, about 400 people in population, in Southern California, out in the desert. And yeah, you guys remember suddenly, like, the haze starts to go away a little bit, that headache starts to lift a little bit, and you remember being called into one of the administration's offices and for an assignment. And this you remember the smell of the cigar that Mr. Z is all you know him as, fills the room with and fills his office with. And so as you guys are stepping in, this is when your memory kicks in. Come in. Looks like I got a whole team. Well, I guess somebody upstairs thinks this is important. I don't think so. Hey, what's your name again? You look, Dan, right? Dano? Something like that?
Falco. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. DeFalco, look, you and your team here, we've been getting some strange reports and some strange, readings. Some hoogly mucks, upstairs are saying that they're finding some sort of magic or tech or alien tech, I don't know. The demon tech, whatever. But, out there in California, out in the desert, something about, a place called Dresco, California, and, it's a bit outside San Diego and Hollywood, so, out on the BFE, nobody knows where it is, kind of place.
All right.
Well, they want me to send a team out there, so I guess you four of you drew the short straw. Go down to HR and get your equipment. Any questions?
Yeah, you got a file for us to look at? What's the particular nature of sightings that we have?
Hold on. And he bites down onto the cigar in the corner of his mouth, and he starts flipping through this pile of papers and on his desk, and he goes, nope, not that one. Throws it behind. Nope, not that one, and throws it forward. Maybe this one. Nope, not that one. And one of them conks one of you on the head. And
I will try and grab them out before
Okay.
they hit us.
Okay, cool. And you're able to. Your reflexes are that good. And you swear that some of these files are probably a little bit cigar singed on the corner from the way that he treats and handles them. And then he finally finds one, and this one's definitely a little cigar singed on the corner of the folder. And he tosses it in front of the three of you, and he goes, "Yeah, it's right there, right there."
Oh, okay. Open it up, and look through.
Okay, so
At least.
yeah, in it you find Dresco, California is a tiny little dot near the border to Nevada, out in the desert. And you find the history of it is that it was once, long ago, a mining town that managed to prosper. And then it had, it waned and faded off. And then it became a production town for a short time, for a couple decades, and then again it had a little downfall, and now it's just instead of 12,000, which was at the height of population, it's down to 400 as far as the last census is known.
Okay, and was there anything in there about the type of sightings that or the reports that initiated this investigation?
Well, people who are good at tech can roll me a check, looking over the files.
Yeah, he'll throw that to Rizzo the moment he sees it.
Okay.
So you want me to add knowledge or
IQ.
IQ? Okay. Knowledge and IQ?
Yes, knowledge and IQ.
22 again.
22 again. Okay. You guys are pretty darn good at this. By the way, don't forget to inform me of what talents you guys choose, if you guys have chosen a talent for any of your skills, if they're high enough for the threshold. On a 22, you see some papers associated with some sort of strange bandwidth, strange emissions that are, basically you see these graphs of bink, 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 and they are, they're not sure what it is, but it looks similar to television broadcasts or radio broadcasts, and it's on a wide frequency and it's on a large range, but it doesn't look like it's actually being sent from any studio, and it doesn't look like it's actually being picked up by, being transmitted in the standard formats. So it's just kind of sitting there in airwaves in the middle of nowhere, and that's the general look of it.
I relay that. Yeah, it looks like they're doing something with sound waves. It looked like maybe radio waves, something. broadcasting without broadcasting, if you know what I mean.
Strangely, I do, even though I shouldn't. I think. Huh. All right. And how did people become alerted to this? Is this something that, like, looking at the file, is this something that our people detected the strange frequency and therefore noticed the anomaly and that's why they're sending us? Or were there people who reported something that they actually saw with their naked eye, right? That led us to know about it and therefore go investigate?
So looking at it, reading through the later pages, you find that there were a couple reports of tourists that were traveling through on a road trip from San Diego or from Hollywood up to head into Las Vegas, and this happens to be just off the road to between the two places, and so you found that there were reports of people having strange experiences. Some people saying that they went in with their family and one or more members disappeared. Family members disappeared and they never heard from them again. Another one talks about the fact that they were there as a rest stop, went to some diners named Maisie's Diner for lunch, and there was a shooting with Tommy guns, and then they woke up in the middle of the street. The next thing they know, they woke up in the middle of the street with the sun beating down on them, and their car was a couple hundred feet away, and it was just nothing but street and empty houses and empty everything around them. And so similar reports like that, and then some investigation from your people ended up from long distance investigation revealed this kind of that there's some sort of wave going on that they can't decipher what it is.
Okay. I don't know if it would eventually pan out, but just so you know what his intentions were after all of this, like if we were going to go to Driscoll, let's say by car, right? He would want to stop in a nearby town with like a local newspaper or something like that has like a records that he might be able to talk his way into looking through, and he would want to look at local papers to see if he can find any and just also talk to old timers and stuff, right? To see if he can pick up anything that's like local lore about strange things about Driscoll, right?
Okay.
Obviously, that's not happening in this particular flashback, but
Right.
just to let you know that he would have done that. And just so you know, he has, for his knowledge skill, he has researcher as a talent.
Absolutely. That's great. I will definitely keep that in mind because, like you said, we're going to jump. Some of the witness reports do have pictures, by the way. They have pictures of people, and they have pictures of Driscoll, but in the pictures that they have of Driscoll, it basically looks like an abandoned ghost town. That there's no possibility that there would be 400 people living there. And that's another thing about the disparity between information according to the latest census from last year, there's 400 residents, but the pictures you see, it's completely dead. It's completely empty.
Interesting.
And it's kind of like Tumbleweed Town with rust buckets of cars and derelict buildings, that kind of thing. But at this point, we're going to jump. Did the two of you have any other questions before we move on?
Nope.
As we're walking out, because I have learned not to open my mouth with him. But looking down at Rizzo, we're going to California. Will there be movie stars?
Oh yeah, all kinds of movie stars.
And with that, as he answers that, we fade to black and back to the present. This is when you realize that the waitress is one of the pictures of a missing daughter.
Oh.
One of the witness reports had reported that their daughter had gone missing, and it's the description of that waitress and age as well. between 16 and 17 years old.
Okay. When we come back to that moment, where are we in regards to?
You guys are in the middle
the-
of, standing up and talking about leaving.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But the other guy, the guy with the gun, is no longer her.
No longer harassing the
away from
guy.
us?
Yeah, he's turned away from you. He's back to after he finished talking to the guy at the bar that's making the shakes. He picks up one of the shakes that the guy was making, chugs it, and walks over to the large jukebox on the far end of the diner. And then he just pops the empty chugged glass on one of the booths where people are sitting and eating on the table, completely disregarding what's going on.
Scanning the room, are there any radios and such?
Good question. Let me see. Yes, there's one radio. It is a radio behind the bar, next to the soda fountain. There's a little tabletop radio, old style, like the dials and all, definitely from like between the 20s and 50s.
But it's behind the bar or behind the counter, so it's not easy access for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So what do you guys wish to do?
So, kind of getting up, and we were gonna be moving on to the police station and stuff, but you'll stop at the counter and to the young woman. Hey, miss.
She looks at you.
Sorry about the bad tip. I didn't realize. And he'll put a dollar on the table or whatever.
Okay.
And
she'll take it, put it into her little pocket and all.
Yeah. Listen, there's obviously stuff going on in this town that maybe newcomers like us might want to be careful about. Would you be a doll and kind of what do you know about this place? I mean, did you grow up here?
Yeah, I've been here all my Yeah, I've been here all my life. Born and raised.
Born and raised, huh?
Born and
That's
raised.
great. That's great. So, what can you tell me about the place?
Well, what can you tell about any place? It's we have a nice little town here, and travelers like you, they come through, they move on after a good meal. I still think you should eat something.
Well, maybe I will, maybe I won't. But, I'm actually a reporter doing kind of a slice of life story. And a place like this is really, we're looking to flesh out the character of the place like this. Kind of do a little special interest piece. So really, any details that you have about your life that you can just paint a picture of, would be really helpful. Like just for instance, like where'd you go to school?
So why don't you roll me a persuasion on this one? It's gonna be persuasion and charisma.
Okay, let's see. I've got charisma or charm is 7, persuasion is 7, so it's a 14.
Woo-hoo.
But I rolled crappy. I rolled a 3 on the dice, so it's 17 total.
Well,
there's no equivalent of a hero point in this, right? To reroll stuff. I just want to.
There is focus. Let's
Yeah.
go ahead and
Let's double check what focus does.
all the things that focus is going to apply to. I just have to scroll for a while.
Sure.
Okay.
But I believe you can utilize focus for this. I just don't remember how at the moment.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how much focus I have. I don't have.
It should be on your character sheet. We should have had it listed for you. Where is it?
I mean, it's along the side, but I don't have anything filled out for it. I just didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, Brandon's gonna find it. While Brandon finds it, she's gonna start talking to you, and she basically will tell you that she grew up, that this town has a small little school that basically covers, elementary school, middle school, high school, all in one. It's only about, she only was in a class about 30. The school is very small. And yeah, it's a Driscoll school. She doesn't know why, you'd be so interested in a small little town like this. And she says, well, kind of think of it. If you want character, there is that old creepy house out on the edge of town that no one ever goes to. People swear it's haunted. I mean, haunted? I don't think so. I mean, does that kind of thing really exist? Ghosts. Anyways, yeah, and
Just up the street? That
no, edge of town.
All
So
right.
I
That
linked
away?
in a couple derived stats that your sheet does ask you for. As to focus, we can we can affect the scene, spend our focus, take an active role in the creation of a scene. Defensive, we can use smarts, and the character is able to come up with a way to have the incoming damage. Lux favor, default for rounding is normally down. By spending focus, you can round up for this. Overcome, character can spend a focus to overcome some type of negative effect. Rerolling a failed check. If you roll poorly, spend 1. If it's a critical failure, a natural 1, it costs 2. Retribution, when attempting to make someone really hurt, the player may spend a focus to gain a bonus to their attack. Spending 1 gives them a +2, blah, blah, blah. Summon inner strength. You can... focus can be spent on a 2-to-1 basis to recover health of any type. And then using magical cost focus, but I don't think any of us know magic. And as an optional rule, we can lose focus by rolling a natural 1, and we can gain focus by rolling a natural 20.
Sure, I'm good with you using that optional rule. We're going to use that. So keep that in mind, everyone, when you roll a nat 20 or a nat 1.
And so our focus is our insight plus our charm divided by 2.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
So you should probably have pretty decent focus there, although I'm only running around with 3.
7.
And sorry, what can you do to augment his skill with that?
He can spend 1 to re-roll it. He can spend 2 if it was a critical failure to re-roll it.
She definitely seems very skeptical of you, so she's definitely keeping tight-lipped. She's giving you the basics, like she went to Driscoll school that had all levels. She doesn't think that that's anything to hide. She also talks about the mansion, but overall, she looks very suspicious of you actively.
From the file that we got, was this missing girl from Driscoll, or was this missing girl a tourist that had come through?
This missing girl was a tourist that came from Missouri.
Okay. In terms of her, I know she's she's skeptical of me, and she's being like superficial. Do I get the sense that these are like, are the answers coming easy to her? Are they so vague and so generic that it could be any place USA?
Yes. It definitely could seem a little generic.
Yeah.
It seems actually, once again, very small town USA, generic small town USA.
Much generic. Yeah. Okay. All right.
And did you remember her name as being Angie Myers, by the way? Angie Myers from Missouri.
Angie Myers.
Mm-hmm.
Do I remember her father or mother's name from the file?
Her father's name was Thomas, and her mother's name was Mary. Very, Missouri, down home kind of, Thomas and Mary.
So when she gives me her name, Angie Myers, like, wait a minute, Angie Myers? I think I actually know your dad, Thomas Myers.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, you got the wrong Angie.
Are you sure?
Here, it's a common name, though. Yeah, my papa's name's Clark.
Clark Myers. Your mom's not Mary, then?
No. And she like starts to get really suspicious of you. She doesn't even offer her mother's name at this point.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel uncomfortable. It's just that I knew Thomas and Mary Myers that were from, and then drop her hometown in Missouri, right? Basically trying to drop like things
Memory
from her
notes.
life, memory
she,
notes to see if it stirs anything up. Is there a role that I can make to do that effectively, or is there? Or not?
Deception.
Deception.
Okay. Let's see. A 10 on the die. That's a 17, and what? I'm charm as well.
Yeah.
So that's a 24.
Okay.
And Alice, I wasn't trying to tell you what.
No, I know.
Looking at the skill list
Yeah.
and like,
I actually meant for him to roll deception earlier rather than persuasion. I'm looking at her. You know, she as you keep talking, she goes, "This dang migraine just won't go away," and she starts to visibly have a headache. Look, Mister, I hope you have a nice time in town, but I really got to go find some aspirin. And you can visibly see that she is suddenly like in pain that she wasn't in before.
All right. No problem, Angie. Thanks for your time, all right? You take care of yourself.
Anytime for big tippers like you. She sends you a smile.
Oh,
Alice?
you're muted, Kevin.
Oh, go ahead, Rizzo.
That's right. Does she go to the back to get her aspirin?
Yeah, she actually goes into the back room. She starts heading into the back room.
She's the only staff out front?
No, there's a gentleman, like I said, that's wearing a black vest, white pinstripe shirt, and he's been making the sodas, he's been making the shakes and sodas behind the bar.
He's who I've been wanting to talk to. So if you wanted to do something, he's somewhat occupied.
Yeah, I was going to go and get a hold of that radio.
Okay. Well, then why don't we talk to Brandon right now? Yeah. So Brandon, you wanted to go up. By the way, when you got your image, you know, you guys all look human right now because you guys have all.
I am human.
No, I know, but
Aldo is human. Dan is human.
But one thing I did want to bring up to you, Brandon, when they gave you your image inducer, they did try and reduce your actual height a little bit to make you look more blend in.
I am human, Alice. I'm a pattern.
I'm well aware, but you are abnormally tall, and they want you to blend in. So in the image inducer, they try to make you look shorter, and so you're gonna like, you know, yeah.
Did they order me to use it?
Huh. Would you guys have tried to talk them out of making her use it?
How tall is she normally?
6'4".
Okay, yeah, they would have tried to make you use it. They would have tried.
I'm just asking. Did they order me to use it?
Yes.
Then I am using it.
Okay, cool. So that would make you more 5'9" right now.
For the folks watching at, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. For the folks watching at home, image inducers, that means how you can play a little 4-foot tall ratman.
4-foot tall ratman and look like a 5'6" male. Yes.
No. He looks like Danny DeVito.
Oh, you look like a Danny DeVito, sure. But no, the image inducer that they used on you, they definitely made you look shorter, Brandon. Look more, you know. They want you to blend in small town America, and 6'4" would get you looks. So you know you might be bumping into things that people can't see you bumping into. So yeah, you can go up to the bar and go and like I said, the man seems to be constantly mixing these malt shakes, and some of them get picked up, some of them just keep piling up, but he's just constantly making them.
What was the gorilla that was here with the gun? What criminal did he mention?
Tony Two-Tone.
Okay. Excuse me, sir?
Yes, miss. Can I get you something?
I hear you.
Sorry,
Alice, you aren't coming through. Hi.
There we go. So, yeah, my keybind went a little wonky. So, he greets you and says, hello, miss. Can I get you something?
No, I don't think that most of the things that are here are good for the body. And also, I was instructed not to eat or drink anything here until we've been to the sheriff's. I, however, was wondering, is Tony Two Tones giving you some trouble that you need assistance with?
And he drops the glass that he's working
I
that he
try and
was
grab
making.
it.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a check on that. Athletics and
Or agility?
agility. Yes.
Okay.
And now
30.
Yeah, you have no problem saving it for him. But he
You
goes.
dropped this.
now she's just showing off, Dan. She does it all the time.
He just goes white, and he goes, "No, miss, Tony two tone. No, I'm not in no trouble, miss."
You did not seem to respond well when the gentleman came up with his gun and told you that he was looking for you. Is there a message that you would like us to deliver? Perhaps you can meet him later? Or did you need some sort of other assistance?
Uh, 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 no, miss. I can take care of my own business. How about you have a drink on the house?
No, as I said, I was instructed not to drink or eat anything here until we've been to the sheriff's and figured things out.
He's well. Then I better get back to work. Boss will get upset if we fall behind on orders. It's the
You
we're
have
having a
many
rush.
orders. You have many orders waiting.
Yeah, we're short staffed. That they need to get delivered out to the tables. It's
Which
the
table? I can help
breakfast
with
rush.
this.
He taps on pieces of paper, the tickets for each of the drinks, and points them out to you on where they should go.
I can assist with this. Perhaps then later you can talk to me about the trouble that Tony Two Tones has inflicted upon you.
Okay. So yeah, you can go and start delivering. Kevin, why don't we jump to you for a moment? The two of them are talking, and he's clearly occupied by her at this point because he's stuttering and he's like, shaking, and he drops the cup. So how would you like to go about going and stealing the radio?
Ora vill find is stealing. It's really obvious. I just want to get a hold of it and see if I can tell if it's picking up. If there's broadcast waves going on here,
Mhm.
I want to see if this thing's picking them up.
Okay,
So
go
I'm
ahead.
I don't know if I have tools.
Mhm.
I'm hoping I have tools.
Yep.
But if not, he'll unscrew the back and he will, in quotes, MacGyver the hell out of this thing.
Sure. Why don't you roll me a technology and I'd say
Can I
IQ
use
roll.
craft?
Huh?
Can I use craft? That's where I have jury rig and patchwork. That's what I'm
Yeah,
hoping.
go
Is
ahead.
that what I can roll?
I'll let you do
Okay.
that.
Okay. So that puts that, because I have ridiculous skill with that, that puts me into 28.
28. Okay.
Yeah.
On a 28, you start jury rigging, and yeah, you start picking up static. Trying to hit that bandwidth that you saw in the readings. You pick that up. But there's something else with it. Like the static, you're not quite certain what's going on because the static does not match the bandwidth that you saw in the paperwork. I'm trying to see if you have anything on your thing. Nope, you do not. Do any of you have any? Well, why don't you roll me a knowledge check since you are playing with this right now,
Okay.
Evan?
And I did take tech stuff as my knowledge base.
You did.
Nope, not near as good. 9 intellect or
Yes, intellect.
insight?
This would be
9 plus
intellect.
6. 9 plus 6 is 15, and my knowledge is 19.
19. Not all of this is tech based, and you're starting to remember the way that the bandwidth on that piece of paper was, and something wasn't reading right, and the higher ups and all, and the gobbledygook, they couldn't figure it out. But as you're playing with this right now, you realize half of this is magic. Half of this is non-technical whatsoever and shouldn't work and seems to be mystical or occult or something that you have encountered, you have enough understanding of to know that it is not all magic, or all technology there.
Oh, sure, we need magic stuff, and Casper's sleeping one off. Great.
So, that is what you get out of playing with
Okay.
it.
Good enough. And of course, I will share that. I will head back out and lean over to Dan. There's tech and magic stuff going on.
Mm.
Bandwidth has got some kind of magic embedded in it, or it's amplifying it. I don't know magic.
Yeah, I don't either. Looks over at Casper, quote unquote, right?
God, we hope that he invested in magic, or else
I know, right?
really dumb.
I know.
Well, you guys are dealing with demons and such like that, so I certainly hope one of you has some understanding of magic and occult. Occult, you said you do understand occult at least.
Yes.
So
Yes, he
there's something.
knows stuff about but he doesn't know the workings of actual
Right.
magic.
What's actually true and what Rizzo perceives to be true are very different things a lot of the time.
I totally understand that. I can totally comprehend that. So, yeah, that's what you get out of that. And Brandon, after you finish delivering them to the tables,
On one order that's they left or something, or perhaps I've got the order wrong, I go over and I put it in front of the ghost that's with us. And if I'm able to, I pick his hand up and I position him to look like he's kind of like leaning against his hand and has got his other hand on the drink, and
I'll
so
allow
therefore,
it.
since we're going to be leaving him here, it seems, make it look like he's actually doing something.
Okay, sounds
Turn
good.
into Weekend at Bernie's. That's what we're doing now. Weekend at Bernie's.
When he sleeps it off later. Okay, that's fine. So you finish delivering it, and the two of you are. What are the two of you doing while she's delivering?
I don't know. Maybe he's not going to get in her way or anything. Maybe step outside and wait for her. You know, if there's a newspaper, maybe buy one, right?
Okay, you're gonna step outside, and I'm gonna hold off on giving you information on that. What about you, Rizzo? Once you're done looking at that, are you gonna go outside with him?
Yeah, I'll follow Dan out. And as he's looking for a paper, I'm going to be scanning for any kind of vehicle or transportation that I can, theoretically borrow while we're here.
Okay. Great. And so, Brandon, you are done delivering the drinks. And at this point, you go back to the counter, and the gentleman that was behind the counter is no longer there.
Who are you?
No, there's nobody there manning the counter.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna start going back behind the counter towards the kitchen area.
Okay.
Hello?
There's no answer. You hear clattering of pots and pans and such, and and what you would expect the sounds to be coming from a kitchen.
I start walking back. Hello, did you need some more help?
You step into the back, and to your left is a pantry, a storage area of boxes of the various types of napkins and stuff that you would need in a diner. To your right, and then past it to the left, seems to be basically a hallway into offices and a bathroom and bathrooms. And to the right, you see a doorway that enters the kitchen. Which way do you want to go?
Nobody's calling back, so I'm gonna probably follow the noise. Let me make a perception check to see if I hear noise anywhere else.
Sure.
I'm gonna give you my number based on sight and hearing, both of which are keen, by the way.
Okay.
So perception, not very good. What is that? 16, so 18.
18. Make me also another knowledge check as well. Because, I would say that you've probably watched a little bit of TV and such like that.
7.
You just on a 7. Never mind, you don't realize this on a 7. So you head. So you don't hear anything else coming from any of the other areas. Hold on. Actually, what was your hearing?
18.
18. Okay. You do not hear anything else coming from any of the other directions other than the kitchen.
then that's where I'm going to go, because that's obviously where he has gone.
Okay.
Did he have a name tag on, by the way?
So Brandon, yeah, he did have a name tag. His name tag was, oh gosh, I do not like the name that came to my head. We'll call him Jason instead. Yeah, Jason. Jason was his name tag.
Mr.
Jason?
Voorhees.
Jason or Jason's boss? Hello? And I just start following the noise back.
Okay, you walk into the kitchen and you don't know where this noise is coming from because there's nobody in here. You hear, like, coming from all around you, there's clattering of pans and dishes and, you know, the sounds that you expect out of a commercial kitchen, but there's no one in here. And there's nothing actually moving.
I will try and ascertain the position that it's coming from.
You know, dishes sound like they're going up on the pass. You can hear and, you know, sound going onto the pass where you would expect, but yeah, but there's no dishes moving. You hear and see, you know, you hear stuff that should be on the stove. Nothing.
Okay. I will just take a quick look out the back.
Okay. You open the door. Or do you open the door, sorry, to look out the back? The door
Yes.
is, okay. Because the door is a full door. Okay. So at that point, we're going to hold you, and we're going to cut to the two of you that stepped outside the front door. So when you step outside the front door, I would like the two of you to make me some checks real quick. I would like you to make me a vigor, and just a vigor and fortitude check real quick.
Uh-oh. Let's see. I rolled a 14 total.
14, okay. What about you, Rizzo?
20.
20, okay. When you step outside, Rizzo, you're fine. You kind of feels like you step through like multiple G's of gravity. You know, like when you're on a ride in a amusement park, those heavy G rides, and you feel that heavy weight, and you kind of feel yourself pop out of it. For you, Aldo, you feel a similar. Dan feels the similar, but instead of coming out of it, the place suddenly just everything in your body feels heavier and sluggish, and you feel a little nauseous. And looking around, again, you feel like you're in a 1920s to 1950s, but more of it is 1920s than 1950s. And when you step out, you kind of both step out into this what you would expect to be something you see in New York City in an Al Capone movie.
Okay. So he kind of, yeah.
You know, during the daytime.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So he'll reel, you know, when he comes out.
Yeah. All your rolls are going to be at a neg1 until otherwise notified, just to let you know. And this is to show that your whole body is just kind of trying to catch up to whatever is going on here. You're sluggish and slow.
Yeah, you all right there, Dan?
Oh, I don't know. I don't feel so good at all, actually. Jeez. This distortion or whatever is just getting the better of me. You feel fine?
Yeah, I'm all right, but...
Damn. I don't know. I figure we might want to make our way to that. I don't know if the police station's the best idea, or maybe that haunted house that she talked about.
Yeah, something. We should. Do we want to wait for Claudia or?
Of course. Yeah.
All right.
Look back in there, you know, because he was expecting her to.
And
he knew she was
here,
serving tables. But.
you two turn around, and suddenly, and you realize this place just for just a split second, and let me try and find my Discord. For just a split second, this is what you see for Macy's. It's this derelict, rusted bucket of a diner. And there's this big diner sign where the lights have all been stripped, but the backing is this blue backing, and rusted out. The entire place looks like the manufactured diner kind of building. There's weeds, dead weeds growing up all along the windows. And you realize, Aldo, that, when you were inside and you saw just that reality interpose, that's the weeds you were seeing on the outside. And you see in front of the diner in one of the parking spaces a big rust bucket of a car that looks like it's been there for maybe 20, well, maybe like 50 or 60 years, untouched. And the curtains, even the curtains in the diner, they look old and unkept and uncared for, and they look like they've been eaten by moths and insects and such like that.
Okay. All right.
And then,
whoa,
and you see that, but when you turn away from it again, everything's back to the way it was. Like, once again, this very old world feel, but small town. It definitely looks, definitely feels on the small town side, but definitely, it's a small town you'd see like in an Al Capone movie kind of feeling.
Yeah. All right.
So,
okay.
Do you two have anything else, or should I jump back to Brandon real quick?
Oh, you jump back to Brandon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So, Brandon, you open the door, and the door just kind of, when you open this door, the door just buckles under your strength and falls off the hinges. And you're literally carrying the door on your arm.
I will deposit it.
Okay, where do you deposit it?
Outside.
Okay, you deposit it outside and clink. And it's just rusted and broken down. And then, like, everything changes and the door looks fine again. Except it's, and it looks like it's open on the door frame and not where you had deposited it. And you look like you're standing in, the back of a diner in a not quite alley, but a small street, an empty street at the moment. And similarly to the other two, it feels like a, Al Capone movie kind of place in a small town. Very much, very cinematic in feel, very...
Perhaps we will see the movie stars.
Perhaps.
And swimming pools.
I'm going to go ahead and head out to the front to let them know about the ghost sounds and disappearing Jason.
Okay. Well, you go out to the front, and you step out, and you never actually stepped out in the back, right? You just opened the door and looked out?
You told me it was an empty alley, so
Yep.
that I was looking for Jason or the cook, and I didn't see them.
Okay. When you step out in the front, why don't you make me the same vigor and fortitude check?
Sure. I wasn't intending to step out, but that's totally fine. It's
Okay.
not really a big deal.
They've moved a little bit away from, when you get to the front, you'll notice that they walked out and they're a little ways away from the diner. So you'd have to walk out to really be in conversation range with them.
27.
27, you're fine. Again, you feel like this weight against your body, but then it's like as if popping a bubble, you step through and you're like, whoo! And, that weight lifts off of you when you step out.
Dan, Rizzo, Jason disappeared, and there are sounds coming from the kitchen that have no point of origin.
What kind of sounds?
Well, it sounds like the kitchen should. There is cooking. They do keep their knives sharpened in these sounds, but there is no cooking or sharpened knives being used or plates being moved, but I hear them.
You also smelled food.
My olfactory senses were also engaged in this. Perhaps there's some misfunctioning in my senses. I look down at Rizzo.
Nah, I think it's tied to that radio with the magic stuff I saw, or figured out there. I think it's mucking with our senses and our heads and every other thing in this godforsaken town.
Also, I broke the door, but then it was unbroken.
Yeah, things have been shifting on me out here too. I just saw this place as a rust bucket. Now it's back to its glamorous postmodern self. You
I
know?
I am worried for Jason, for he was working and spoke that he needed to keep up on his work, or he would be in trouble with his boss. And then there's the business with Tony Two Tones.
Hey, for all we know, and don't mean to make you worried, Claudia. For all we know, Jason's just part of whatever the heck's going on here, like some kind of magical computer simulation thing.
Oh,
That's
well,
what I'm thinking too.
if he was not real, that would be far better than being in trouble with Tony Two Tones.
What are you thinking, Dan? Haunted house? The cops?
Yeah, I'm thinking haunted house just because Angie mentioned it. Maybe there's something rattling around in her head that made her think of mentioning it. I mean, the cops was just my first impulse, but we have no real good reason for going there.
Okay.
So we are going to Disneyland?
We might already be there,
Yeah.
kid.
I'll tell you what, when this is all done, we'll go to Disneyland for sure.
Okay.
You can ride Magic Mountain.
So you guys start heading.
Magic
How
does not seem to agree with me.
how do you guys want to head off to that haunted house?
How far away is it?
It's on the edge of town, is what you guys are told. It would be, too long to walk.
In an ideal situation, Rizzo would steal a car.
Okay.
His cousin is a celebrated chef. He steals cars.
Okay. Go ahead and steal a car for me. There's lots of cars around.
Okay.
There's lots of cars, lots of 1950s and older, classic cars, all shiny in this parking lot.
Yeah, none of them's actually going to work, but
Yeah.
but we
The
got to
auto-
give her a go, right?
The automotives here seem to be of a different style than what we rode to the airport in.
That's right. These are old style.
So,
So
roll me your
I
check.
proceed to see if I can hotwire and get one of these, what I'm sure is actually a hunk of rusted out old junk going.
Okay. Roll me some percentiles as well. Actually, is there a luck function in this game? I guess that'd be focus, wouldn't it? Would be the closest
I
thing.
believe that is focus. There is a luck gift.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that increases your focus.
Yeah, so let's go back to focus, and while you are trying to hotwire, roll
It's
me
like
the
page
hotwire check.
93.
Sure. Why don't you roll me the hotwire check, and I'm gonna just look at what I want you to do.
Okay, so crafting, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm very good at this. 27.
27. Okay. I'm going to say that you can spend a focus to actually have picked a real car.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll burn a focus for that.
Sure, you burn a focus, and yeah, you pick a car that actually, it starts. You describe what the car would look like. What car did you pick? Because this would be like your dream car.
Oh, well, in that case, we're driving the Batmobile.
Okay. He hotwires you guys a Batmobile. And yeah, how much room is there for everyone to get in exactly in your version of a Batmobile?
Oh, enough for all three of us.
Okay. So all three of you pile onto the car, and at this point, we're gonna jump scenes again. And you guys want to head out to the haunted house. And this is when you start remembering, as you're starting to drive, that headache like pounds in your head again, and you suddenly remember you stopped at a town nearby, and you did some historical research.
Nice.
So we're going to jump to that scene and let Brandon fall asleep, apparently.
Hey, somebody kept me up late last night watching Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, and then I had to get up early.
Okay, so no one's to blame here, but I know who to kill first. Okay, so you stopped in a couple of the local towns on the way, and why don't you walk me through what you would have done and what you were looking for, and I will fill in the blanks as you go.
Yeah, so he probably would have started at the local library if they have just any sort of like archives of the surrounding area, old newspaper, old newspapers that he can go through on microfiche or whatever,
Okay.
or if they actually have computers in this town, right? Which we are, so he'd do that, but he's really looking for local stuff, right? So some of that stuff might not have been, um, digitized yet. Based on anything that he finds there about Driscoll,
Mhm.
right? If he finds something that he thinks there might be more in-depth information, he'd probably try to walk to the local newspaper and see if he can talk his way into their morgue, right? Into looking at their old stuff, and see if there's anything there that they might not have in the library. And if in the process of any of that he ran into like the old timey librarian or the old timey reporter or whatever, then he would also just try to do some some
Information
person to,
gathering. Okay.
yeah. Mhm.
Sure. So we'll start with you meet uh, uh, you meet Old May. The old
Okay.
a very old elderly woman who maintains one of the local libraries. And sorry, come closer. These eyes don't work the way they used to. And she's playing with
Oh
her
yeah.
Coke bottle glasses.
And this is the non-time shifted town that we're in.
Yes, you're in the
Yeah.
non-time shifted town at the moment.
Yeah.
My eyes they don't work the way they used to. Sonny boy, what can Old May do for you?
Well, I'm actually looking for um stories of the strange, right? Things that are out of the ordinary. I'm writing a book on small town America and all the folklore and ghost stories and all that sort of thing that I can pull together. And I've heard some stuff about Driscoll. And I was wondering if
Drescoll? You mean Drescoll? Drescol.
okay, Driscoll. Yeah, I'm sorry, Driscoll. Yeah, I've heard some stuff about Driscoll.
I heard some things about Drescoll. They say that it's not a place you want to bother stopping in. It's a ghost town out there.
Yeah, and how long have these stories been going on? I mean, how long has Driscoll been a ghost town in this way?
Oh, probably since I was your age. And she like scrutinizes you, like plays with her glasses, trying to get a good look at you. Yeah, probably since I was your age, Sonny.
That must have been like 5 years ago.
A very long time ago.
She laughs at the two of you. Somewhere between 5 years and a very long time ago.
I get you. Well, I'm the more specific we can get, the better. I mean, every town has a good specific ghost that's haunting it, or a good event that set things off. What
You're not one of those
personality-
UFO chasers, are you? I'm
Nah.
so tired of them coming through town saying they're finding aliens everywhere. I mean, aliens don't exist.
Crazy.
Now-
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, good. At least you're a lad that has his head on the right shoulders. Well, come with me. Let me see if I can find you anything.
Great. He will go follow me.
Having your head on the right shoulder help? This seems very strange.
Your lady friend there. She's a little got a couple screws loose, huh? Maybe a little too much soda pop.
Oh,
Maybe
no,
a-
I am all natural. There are no screws in me.
All right.
So yeah, she'll take you back and help you find some paperwork and such. Roll me a research check.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. So this would be knowledge, and then I don't know. I forget what research does for me. It's a talent.
It's a talent, so it gives you a +2 to the check.
Okay. Well,
Or
no, it's not
it's a talent. Sorry, it's a talent, not
it's an actual
specialization.
talent. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the
Yeah.
specialization. So let me go find it.
I'm looking right now.
Great. I research right here. Research gives you. I just jumped past it after I found it. Silly me. There it is. They've had a lot of practice to quickly find information they need. They may increase their difficulty by +5 to have the time required. So it doesn't sound like you're worried about time right now, does it?
Not really.
Okay.
And I rolled a 28 total.
28.
By the way, quick question for folks: Did they pick their equipment gear outs on page 92? Because it's not just equipment that you get; you do get some other things.
Oh no.
I reminded because I'm searching for research. That is actually one of the roles that is available there.
Okay.
Well, you guys should go take a look and choose your gear outs if you haven't. On a 28, you actually find some reference to a in the 1910 to 1920 era, you find some papers about a woman that is rumored to have moved out here after failing in Hollywood.
Do I have her name?
Yeah, Dolly, I had her name written down as Dolly, but I didn't come up with the last name, so I'm gonna say Dolly Hepburn.
Okay.
Dolly Hepburn. Here we go.
Okay.
So, Dolly Hepburn.
And she moved out here in about 1920 or so?
1915 to 1918, there's not really, that's when you start picking up references about her, between 1915 and 1918, about Dolly. She was a failed actress in Hollywood that turned writer, and she became fascinated with writing. Oh, oops, silly me. I actually, oh well, never mind. I guess I'll have to adjust. Okay, I'm gonna change that name from Dolly Hepburn to Christy Agatha. I had it written and a bunch of her stuff, and I'm like, wait, did I name her Dolly in the end? So yeah, Christy Agatha.
Yeah. Okay.
She turned writer.
Okay, cool. All right. And was she writing novels or was she writing movie scripts?
She was writing movie scripts, and she was trying to get them picked up by studios, and she was trying to make something big of herself. And she lived in a house in Driscoll. She bought a house in Driscoll. She was considered to be very wealthy by Driscoll standards. But shortly after, you start seeing references of how weird things started happening in that town. And none of the weird things are ever hashed out in the article, but they say, that people are getting creeped out, that they think that something's wrong with the town, that their wells are drying up, they can't get the irrigation to work, water's not flowing in, weather gets weird out there, that they swear that there are tornadoes whether it's not tornado country, that kind of thing. And it's just things that basically are a confluence of bad luck, series of unfortunate events that hit that place. So people ended up leaving, and the place ended up basically abandoned about 40 years ago.
Two things that he wants to do after finding that information. One, he wants to find any obituaries for Christy Agatha or circumstances of her death and that sort of thing. And two, he wants to also do like land research in terms of like the ownership of the plot of land where she purchased or built her house, who owned it before, what's the lineage of ownership there, that kind of thing, land records, and any names that come up with that, then he'd want to research those names too if he thought they looked, significant.
Okay. What about the other two of you? What are you doing while he's doing research?
I am asking Rizzo why I had not been informed that people could turn into old.
I don't know. Guess I'll try to explain it to you how that works.
That can happen in 5 years?
Nah, that was he was using the old Falco charm, you know, to normally, and I'll go into a scientific discussion of the aging process.
Okay. So you guys will be discussing aging while he's doing that. You can find some papers on the on what's the term? I forget. Oh well, I forgot the term, but you can find some information about the history of the house, of the land, and you can find that basically there's no death record of her. There is no record of her moving out of the area. A lot of people have moved into the area. A lot of people have moved out of the area since, and there's some references to that and how, you know, the place just basically emptied out over a course of some years. There's references to how some residents in Driscoll moved into the town you're in. To research. You don't really find much information about the plot of land's ancestry beyond Christy Agatha's appearance. As far as you can tell, it was some sort of a plot of land that her heritage must have had or something, because as far as you can find going back, there's several generations of it being Agatha land.
Okay. And she built the house or she moved into the house?
She moved into the house.
Okay. All right. Okay. You know, once he's done with that, he'll go back to the others.
Okay. And so yeah, you head back to the others, and that's where we're gonna fade back to current right now. You guys are driving down the road in a Batmobile.
Yeah.
And it's loud. I mean, it's like it's like the cartoon sounds of a Batmobile would. It's everything you imagine a Batmobile would be is how this is running.
Is this Adam West Batmobile?
Oh, absolutely, it's the Adam West Batmobile.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Okay, so it's the Adam West Batmobile, which fits even better because, you know, it's an older car instead of modern, which works a lot better. And you guys head out to the manor out in the edge of town. Is there anything you guys want to do before you get there?
I got nothing coming to mind.
Okay.
Now, if she were still alive, she'd be what, 140 years old or something?
Probably something around that age. Yeah, something around that. Yes.
You might have been talking to her when you were at the library.
Oh man, kids today, you gotta be more respectful of your elders there. Old people don't like to hear you talk about their age that way.
And when you guys pull up to a gorgeous mansion. Looks huge. It looks like it's at the prime, you know, it looks like it's at its prime. I just dropped in a picture of what the three of you would as you're getting out of the car momentarily see: the derelict, multi-level, multi-chimney mansion that basically this day and age in a small town would probably become a bed and breakfast kind of place. It's got a nice covered patio with stone pillar archways that are designed. But you know, for just a moment, you guys see that picture that I just sent, and then it goes back to this pristine, like it was built yesterday kind of look.
Are these flickers that I am suffering from constant with hangovers?
Depends on the hangover. Not usually.
I don't like it.
What Dan said.
And you guys, the door is unlike in the picture that I showed you. The door is in place. The door looks very nice. It looks like basically it's been engraved with different levels of so it's emblazoned with different fleur-de-lis and such like that. The windows are, the bigger windows in the place are all stained glass. What do you guys want to do?
Head up to the door.
All right.
Okay, you head up to the door.
Wait.
I do wait.
Okay.
Let's talk about this.
Sure.
We can just do that, or I can head up to the door and flap my lips. No, that's a metaphor, Claudia. I can head up to the door and talk my way into occupying whoever answered, and maybe you two could sneak around back and see if you can get access to anything. What do you think? Or we can just all go up front. But I don't know. I think that if we all go up and knock on the door, we're going to be missing some opportunities to use our talents to their fullest. What do you think?
I am willing to go around the back. Are you, Rizzo?
Sure.
All right. Be careful out there.
Okay. So, we're going to start with the person going up to the front. You go up to the front, and how do you want to approach this, Aldo?
Knock on the door.
Okay. A gentleman that looks, that's probably 60 to 65 years old, with gray hair, slightly curly. Kind of looks like, Alfred. Since we're going with the whole Batman thing, he kind of looks like one of the Alfreds, opens the door, and he's dressed in a nice tux. He's dressed like a butler. And he goes, "Yes," seeming really bored with you.
Hi, I'm actually here to see Miss Christy Agatha. Would she be available? I know this is a really big imposition, but I've just run across some of her movie scripts, and I have an idea for a movie that I just can't get down on paper, but I think it would make a fantastic feature. And I was just maybe hoping that she'd be willing to collaborate with me.
Do you have an appointment?
I don't. I just I just had to skip all of that and see if she'd see me right away. I have other people that I'm maybe are interested, but I don't think they're as good as she is. And I just needed to talk to her before anything fell through or before opportunities passed or whatever. Do you think she'd have a moment for me?
I'll see. Please wait here. And he closes the door.
Of course. Okay. Jeez.
And he's not like gentle about it either. He just slams the door in your face.
Okay.
So, meanwhile, while we make Aldo wait for a while, why don't we cut to Rizzo and Brandon? Rizzo.
All right. So we are sneaking around the back. Once we're there, assuming our sneaking is successful, we'll attempt to gain entry.
Okay. You can go ahead and start trying to gain entry. Describe to me how you plan on gaining entry. There is why don't you roll some stealth checks for me? Let's see if you're caught going around the back.
That's stealth plus, I'm assuming, agility?
Yes, stealth plus agility.
So I'm at a 19.
I rolled pretty bad. I'm only at a 14.
Okay. What about you, Rizzo?
19.
19. Okay. Oh, wow. So, Brandon, a kid, probably about 11 years old, rides by on a bike and says, and calls out to you, "Hey, what are you doing?"
I am walking.
"You're trespassing. I'm gonna go tell Mommy all about you coming and trespassing on Miss Agatha's property."
No, I was told to be here.
Then why are you sneaking around the back like that?
We're playing a game.
Oh, can I play? Can I play? Can I play? I'm really good at games. I win shoots and ladders against Mom all the time.
I don't know if you can play. I don't know the rules about involving new people in the game.
Tell him it's hide and seek. He found you. Now it's his turn to go hide.
I've just been informed that the game is hide and seek. You have found me, so now you need to go and hide.
Oh, and you're gonna come find me?
Oh yeah, we'll come find
I'm
you at some
certain
point.
that is part of the game.
Roll me a deception. Actually, no, roll me a persuasion. You're not deceiving. You're persuading.
They're the exact same, and I have a 19 because I rolled an 18.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give it to you on that. Okay. You can find me. Count to 100, okay? And no cheating, no peeking. And he's gonna bike off rapidly. Rizzo, he was pretty loud. The kid was pretty loud.
Okay.
Go.
So we might have been alerted to our presence. Only one way to find out.
Yep. So you go up to the back door.
Yep.
And let's see about you picking your way in.
Okay.
We wish to use the ground level.
You have another plan?
To scale up and to come from a higher point of view.
I
Generally,
picture a plan
windows
where
are
I
often
fall
open.
now, but sure.
Alice, are
Anyone
there
plug
any
in?
open windows?
Yeah, sure. There's one open window on the 3rd floor. It looks like basically it would be leading into the attic. Or one of the attics in the area, in the building.
Perhaps that. I don't think that they would have guards there.
Oh. I could probably just pick the lock here, right? And then not have to climb up there?
If that's what you want.
What I want is to not be here. I want to be somewhere enjoying whiskey and a cigar. That's what I want, but I'm going to do this.
Those are not part of the diet that I've been put on.
Well, maybe it's going to be later. After you're ready for it.
After they retire you.
What do you want me to add here, Alice?
Oh, well, it depends on where you're going. If you're picking the lock or climbing up.
Well, I'm not climbing up there. That's not when I climb up and fall from a 3-story height.
Sure. So this would be you, I would say craft and agility.
Okay, so with my 10, that gets me to a 23.
Nice. You guys have some good mods. You guys have some good mods.
Craft is by far and away my best skill.
Okay. So you pick the lock and it opens. It unlocks.
Yeah.
Roll me. Let's see here. Yeah, roll me a power plus your crafts real quick.
Oh, geez. 19.
Okay. The doorknob falls off. And hits the floor. Ground. And it turns.
I try and catch it.
Okay, go ahead and try and catch it. It goes rusty. As it falls out, you see it become this rusted knob.
34.
You catch it, and yeah, it goes and turns into this rusted knob in your hand.
That's what happened to the door.
And you look down at it, and then when you look back up again, there's a doorknob in the door again.
That's also what happened to the door.
Yeah, it's the magical brain stuff that they're doing to us.
Hangovers are horrible.
a very technical term. Magical braid stuff.
Magical braid stuff. And hangovers. Horrible stuff. Okay, so you two are going to sneak in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you guys will sneak in and you guys enter what looks to be a living room. A parlor. And I would like the two of you to roll me some stealth checks.
Again? So I can
Again.
fail all again, over again?
Mm-hmm.
14.
Okay.
I'm just rolling terribly. I'm not great at stealth, but,
What about you, Rizzo?
you know.
I am at, hang on, I can't do math. 9 plus 2 plus 6 is 17.
17. Okay. I'm going to hold off on the two of you for a minute. I'm just going to jump back to Aldo. Aldo, the front
Yes.
door opens. And standing just inside the front doorway are two very large men that look very similar to the man that went into the diner to talk about Two-Tone Tony. Or Tony Two-Tone, sorry. Tony Two-Tone. They look very similar. You know, they're very big men. And the man that opened the door initially steps between the two of them from behind one of them and says, Miss Agatha will see you now. Come with us.
Whew. You look like visibly relieved, the two guys. You didn't know where it was going to go. He's like, hey, that's great. That's great. Oh my gosh. I'm so grateful. He'll look nervously at the other two guys. He'll kind of like, he's not sure if he's supposed to like walk between the two guys or they're going to lead him there.
When you get they just they step back a bit and open up a bit and let you through between them. And as you approach them, you smell something very you smell latex and you smell brimstone and you smell you're not sure what else you smell, but you smell odors that you are familiar with from working in the API. These two are not human.
If they are, the latex smell would tell me anything in particular. Can I make a knowledge, like a cult roll or a
Go
knowledge?
ahead and roll me a knowledge check. Yeah. And
Okay,
go ahead and roll me a perception as well.
Okay. Unfortunately, my knowledge roll is crummy. I rolled a 2 on the die. I have 14, so it's a total of 16.
Go ahead.
But it's still kind of crummy.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me a perception.
You know what? Can I burn 2 focus points for both of those rolls? Because I rolled a 2 and a 3.
Go for it.
Okay. A 14 plus 14 is 28 on the knowledge roll. And the second one is still not great. I rolled a 20 total, though. It's not a total disaster. So 28 and a 20. 28 being the knowledge roll, 20 being the perception roll. Oh, no, 22 with the perception roll. I have plus 2 on that.
Okay. You're thinking about it, and you're... Yeah.
I'm sorry. You told me to tell you also when I have talents. So let me look at the talents section. I have Blue Hound and Truth Spotter are my 2 talents there.
Ooh.
And
Okay. For Clue Hound, when you're searching a room, so that's not this, but let's look at Truth Spotter. It takes a great deal of skill and a little bit to get past you. Yeah, you know what? I can see that. It doesn't quite fit, but you do notice something. What you notice is that on the 2 gentlemen, their cheekbones kind of go out like this. Like there is a dip right here that goes out like this, and then it comes down.
Yeesh.
And you realize it looks like basically a costume mask that you would see in in Hollywood, maybe, a latex mask.
Okay.
So, do do you go with these three gentlemen?
Yes.
Okay.
I hear the judgment of the GM on that. Okay.
We're gonna hold you for a second, and the two of you, in the back, what are you guys wanting to do? And there's no judgment. I'm happy. Where do the two of
Well,
you in the
we're
back
going-
want to? What's your plan?
Investigate.
Okay.
Look around, take a look around. As
Sure.
quietly as we can.
Quietly as you can. Where do you guys want to look? Do you guys want to look on the bottom floor? Are you guys looking for something
What
specific?
are we walking into?
You guys are walking into a parlor, a living room, essentially. An old school parlor living room that would have gone out to the into the back door. They're out of this area to the left. As you're looking in, to the left, you would be heading into a study, a hallway with a study and maybe a guest bathroom. To the right, you head off into the kitchen and and a hallway that goes upstairs.
Okay. I want to listen out to see if I can hear the front door and if people are coming by us or
Sure.
are in the local area.
You also have keen senses for smell, so why don't you roll that?
No.
Roll your...
Sight and hearing.
Okay, so why don't you roll me some perceptions?
If it matters, Alice, I have keen senses for hearing and smell, or just from being a rat.
Oh yeah, so why don't you roll me perception as well?
And I actually bought keen senses sight to offset my rat nearsightedness.
Okay, insight and perception then.
Yeah, when you roll that bad, it doesn't matter. So.
Yeah, I'm not loving mine either. A lot of mine are below 10, so 18.
18. You do not notice. What you hear on the it would be like a good ways away from you guys on the other side of the building, obviously. Please come with us. Miss Christie, Miss Agatha will see. Whoops, my cup just tried to die. Miss Agatha will see you now. And you hear large footstep, going through the house, echoing through the house. But that's all you guys hear at the moment.
They're going to take Dan to Agatha.
Should we follow him?
Does he need help? Or should we look around?
I don't know. Here's the thing. If there's trouble, Dan's not the best guy in a fight. I think that's you, Agatha. Agatha. You, Claudia. You're the best guy in a fight.
Maybe.
I am not a guy.
It's a term of endearment.
I am also not a deer.
You certainly aren't. Anyway, I think one of us should check up on Dan for sure, just to make sure. Because you said heavy footstep. Those sound like big guys. Like the big guys that were in that diner.
The footsteps are pretty big and heavy. And Aldo, as you're walking, you definitely think that these guys are probably bigger than the guy in the diner. These guys just look similar. They're dressed similarly, and they've got something over their faces clearly to make them look kind of like that guy. But these guys are bigger. These guys are like big apes trying to, big gorillas or apes trying to fit into a tiny little suit kind of look.
Here's
Okay,
the
so
thing.
it's kind of like side-eyeing them as they down the hall or whatever.
Okay.
We can always investigate after. If something bad happens to Dan, that just happens.
Sounds like at least I'm going to go back Dan up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna come with.
Okay. So you guys are going to bound through the room that you guys are in. And are you guys gonna like sneak around, or are you guys just gonna go, hey, we just came in from the back? How are you guys? Describe the scene to me on what you guys do.
I want to wait to listen to where they're going and then try and follow them.
Yeah, sneakily.
Yes.
We hope.
Okay.
My dice rolls have not been supporting this, but yes.
I will repeat. We hope.
Okay. So why don't you guys roll me stealth checks? And you guys can roll me, as you guys get close, I'll let you guys roll one more perception. Going through
I'm
a
a 10.
different... Okay. So as you get close, you're heading in through one of, not a study, but let's see, what else would be in this? Like a guest, not the foyer, but
Parlor?
another parlor. Yeah, you guys go through this living area, and then you guys go into a parlor, and on the other side of the parlor is where you guys basically pick up on those two. And Kevin, what was your check?
For which, stealth or perception?
Both.
11 for perception, 10 for stealth.
Okay, Brandon, what was your? I heard 10. Was that the perception or the stealth?
The stealth.
Okay.
10 for me. Perception was 11.
Okay.
Perception, 9, 11, 16.
Okay. Aldo, the person that was speaking with you goes, "Wait here, please," and tries to put a hand on your shoulder. Do you allow him to?
No, he'll step to the side and say, "Sure, of course. I'll wait. Where? Here?" He'll point to the wherever.
Here,
wherever's
please.
there.
And the two big guys, all leave. They start walking off. And
am I just in the middle of a hall?
Yeah, basically you're in the middle of a hallway, and there's portraits on the walls that look like they're a combination of painted. Some are painted and old, and some are black and white photography and such like that. The frames all look very old and ornate, and it's wallpaper. It's that really ugly, busy wallpaper.
Yeah,
that was very stylish.
He'll look at the portraits, trying to see if there's anything of the story of this place that plays out in the portraits.
And the guy that greeted you at the door, he's standing right next to you while the two big guys, boom, 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 off. And Brandon and Kevin, you guys, there's those two big guys I was describing. They come throwing the parlor door open, and the parlor door kind of crashes against the wall as it does, and they're like smelling into the air. And
do I hear them? Do I hear all of that? Is that happening enough where I can tell that they're like, crashing into someplace? And
yeah, I mean they're
around?
not being subtle. So you definitely hear that they have rushed off, and then boom, you hear that clack of the door. And let's go into combat, because they will notice you definitely. And it's been a little while since I rolled initiative in AMP. How do we roll initiative? Is it D20 plus Agi?
D20 Agi Int.
Oh, that's right. Initiative. Yep. There's a D20 Agi Int, so that's their modifier. Okay, so...
Or I guess it's IQ. I'm going to go ahead and use the core ability of my Swift martial art. I will exchange focus for 4 initiative.
Oh, nice. So, let's tell me what your initiatives are.
30.
So we roll a die 12.
D20.
Plus initiative plus intellect?
Plus agility plus intellect is your initiative score.
Okay, got it. So it is written down correctly. Oh, not too bad.
Okay. So, Brandon, you said you're on a 30?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 30 is...
And actually, I'm going to...
Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'll get Brandon stuff and I'll...
I got Brandon. What about you?
I'm at a 24, and I'm going to say out of character quick, probably between sessions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tweak a couple of things because I had not looked at gear at all. So probably going to drop one stat and up my POW just one so I can actually carry some gear.
Okay.
Because he would have, I'm assuming a rifle of some kind and other stuff.
Okay, and Rizzo, and Dan, what is your initiative? Because I'm assuming you're
I
gonna
rolled I rolled a natural 1, so I have an 8 initiative.
Okay, an 8 initiative.
Now, Alice, did you say that ones are going to cost us a focus?
Yes, ones
Oh,
do
yeah.
cost us a focus.
Yes, so I'm down 3 focus, so I only have 4 left.
Okay. It's Merle. Okay. Now at 30, it's you, Claudia. 2 big guys, come bounding in, and they're sniffing and they're huffing and they're, growling. While their faces look mostly human, like I said, there's that, little weird protrusion where the cheekbones would be, and they just, they're smelling the air and they're grunting, so they're not even speaking, speaking like a human. Yeah.
Okay. I am going to go ahead and use one of my stance abilities from Swift Stance.
Okay.
And I am going to net myself 2 extra actions, which is going to move me up to 6 actions for the combat round.
Okay. I think this little fight might have been underscaled. We will see.
And are they? So they have seen us. The jig is up, and they are coming swinging at us.
Yes.
Okay.
They look like basically they're coming to grab you. They don't look like they're coming to kill you, but they look like they're bounding at you to come, arms out, grab you.
Okay. I want to go ahead and let me see. I'm going to take a full action, I believe is what it's called. Yes. So full actions, these actions use up at least 1 action to perform and are considered standard actions. So support quick actions that may or may not be used as an action if performed alone. A quick action simply takes the character's action and subtracts speed. Normally, the player may also choose to use a quick action at the same time, but they take a -3 penalty. And so I think quick action is going to be moving.
Okay.
So do I need to move up to them?
Yes, you do need to move up to them.
Okay. So I will go ahead and I will move towards them. I want to go ahead and basically slide underneath the legs.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to punch him in the groin as I go.
Okay. Go ahead and go for that.
Okay. So I am taking those 2 different actions. So that's the -3 penalty. That is a 32.
32.
On the attack.
Okay.
And how is he defending?
He is defending by straight up toughness. He is going to try and just absorb this. He does not seem like he really cares about, moving out of your way.
Okay, so he is going to take the hit.
Yes.
So the fighter decides to take whatever is coming at them. This means their opponent still needs to hit a simple 10 on their attack check, but they deal full damage if they are successful. The benefit of take the hit is that the character retains more initiative, losing only 1 speed. So my initiative goes down by... I am doing that.
If you're a quick action, normal move, it's speed 4. So you just went down by 4.
By 5, because it's the unarmed strike is what is determining that speed. So I'm now a 25, and he dropped 1 point.
Okay.
Now, like I said, so I am at 32. So that is going to be a punch with 5 raises because I am a natural fighter. And I should have done this. I totally forgot. Yeah, not better. So therefore, that is going to be 5 raises, so 7 damage.
Okay.
I will go ahead and use actually one of those raises. I would like to add a target with the raise, and I want to try and strike out at the other one.
Okay.
To sweep his leg with that. And I'm looking for where we get our raise information.
And you went down to 25, you said. And then they go down to 20. Okay. He went down to 25.
Now he can choose to resist in a different fashion.
Yeah, he can. with 7 damage, I think that he might want to try and at least dodge out of the way. So, let's see how much that would take. It would take a bit. In fact, actually, instead of getting out of the way, he's going to do a hit back. That's what he's going to worry about doing. So instead of attempting...
Varies, it uses 2 of his actions. Sorry, you were reading.
No problem. Go ahead and read it.
Instead of attempting to get out of the way and avoid the damage, the character accepts their place on the battlefield and decides to attack at the same time. This means the character suffers the full damage of the incoming attack as long as the character makes their simple 10 check, but also launches their own. The attacker now has the choice of whether to press on with their attack or to stop their attack and switch to a reaction with a -2 penalty. I will press on with my attack.
Okay, go ahead.
That would be the same thing.
Okay.
I'm trying to find the freaking boosts, and I am not coming up with the page they're on.
And so for his attack back, he's going to spend, it's going to go speed 5, so he's going to lose 5 speed. And he is going to roll power plus fists, and the damage is going to be 2 plus base. What's the base?
Base is 0 unless you have something that modified that.
Oh, cool. I think based on what I saw. Yep, okay, he has a bonus. Cool.
Here we go. All right, additional target, I did that. Bonus damage, yeah. Bonus info, style, I can pull it off with style.
I hit a 28.
Or time crunch. Okay. I am going to go ahead and attempt to, which one was my better one? I will attempt to block him.
Okay.
Which will be a speed 3, so I will go down to 22 at that point.
Okay. So, as you come up and you are doing, you reach up and you're trying to kick him or punch him. What is it?
Basically, I slid through one guy's legs, punching him in the groin, and I tried to sweep the leg of the other as I'm getting up.
Okay. As you are punching him in the groin, he goes, "Oh!" And he reaches down and he basically lunges forward down at you. Like
remember that this is the other one. The one that I punched in the groin chose to just take it.
Oh yeah, that's true. Sorry. The one that you're coming up on as he slid through, he saw you coming, and he just kind of lunges forward at you, kind of going from a bipedal to a quadrupedal kind of creature, and his fingers, like, they just you see basically, you know, when latex gloves or nitrile gloves, they burst and pop. So you see basically his fingertips just pop like latex all around, and his fingers just grow, and there are these big, massive, hairy, brown, hairy fingers with big, huge claws at the end, and they kind of look like a combination between a boar and a human, except for the fact that, you know, it's kind of boar hair at the end. And he just kind of lunges, digs his 2 claws down at you. He's going to be doing 5 damage.
He hit a what?
He hit a 28.
Okay, I have a 37 to block.
Okay, then he does not connect with you. Ooh.
I am now initiative 22.
Okay, you are now initiative 22.
It might be easier for you to just start going down the inits, and we all keep track of our own.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, it's not going to be any easier. So the next one is going to be Bruiser number 2, who took a groin punch, and he's going to turn around, and he is going to also, like, he goes, and he hulks out, and bursting out of his ape suit, his tux, his nice suit, and his back, basically, like, you see these column of white porcine-like spines, coming up. So, like, porcine canines, the tusks, except they're down his back. He's got big, hairy, it's tufts of hair coming off the sides of the spikes of horns, and his body looks very boar-like. And his mouth opens wide, and he just, like, he's like trying to get it's like he's just doing this, moving his face around, and you see basically the latex pop and tusks come out of the latex.
The special effects in California are excellent.
And let me see on this roll. Oh! And that's a nat 20. And I need to go look at his modifier. That is a 37? Yeah, 37. Plus 17.
I have 43.
43. Okay. Well, he comes out and he's just clawing at you, and you see, like I said, he went from bipedal down to quadrupedal, and this massive boar of a creature that, somehow he'd gotten shoved into a suit much smaller than he should have fit in, and now he's just broken out, hulked out. Okay.
I am 19 on initiative now.
Yep, I will mark that down. And after him, that is a okay. So the two of them get to go after Rizzo. Rizzo, you get to go now.
All right. So with no idea how combat works.
So go to page 178, and 179 is when all the actions are going to start getting described. And it is so whenever there is a speed marker, that is how many points you'll take off your initiative for taking that action. This initiative system is very much you're paying, so you're going to get a lot more actions than Dan. Dan's basically going to get 2 actions with what he got on an 8.
Well, we also only have a certain number of actions that we are allotted in a round.
That's true. I think that
I currently have 6 actions in the round. Any actions that we don't burn turn into initiative next round.
Yep.
But you get unlimited reactions.
Yes. My 2 guys, like for example, my 2 guys have 4 actions each, so each of them has now spent 1 action.
The attack back is 2 actions.
Oh, that's true. Thank you for catching that. That was 2 actions. So he has 2 actions left, and I have 3 actions on the other one left. And so Rizzo, you can choose, and your character sheet on one of your derived stats should tell you how you have a number of 3 actions total in the round.
Yep,
so.
I do. So I will assume, as we said, we're figuring out weapons here. He has some kind of a modified. I'm not sure what he's allowed to carry, but he would, if he had it with him, but he would have some kind of modified, like small-sized rifle thing that he pulls out. Because I got the tech stuff too.
Okay.
I'll build it between now and the next time.
Okay.
Now that I know that they're not pre-designed for me. So
okay.
He will. I guess these guys are melee. I will drop into my through the din stance for marksman, which lets me fire into melee without penalty. I'm trying to see what it takes to draw a weapon here.
Cool.
I don't know if I see draw a weapon. I don't see draw a weapon as an action. Prepare.
Prepare, yeah.
So speed 3 to prepare, so that drops me to a 21. Right?
Yep.
I'm not sure what it takes to drop into a stance.
Well, what kind
as in one of your martial arts?
Yeah.
You just go into it, basically. If you have multiple, you have to pick which one is your active, but you get the core abilities from all your arts.
Okay, so the active one is through the din, so I have a better chance of hitting stuff in melee. And then I will. I don't want to necessarily kill this thing because I don't know really what it is, so I will use used range weapon for 4 plus type. I don't know what that type does. I'm assuming it's. I would assume it's an average weapon. I'm not strong enough to carry a heavy one.
Okay. Well, Rizzo, you after you dropping to 21, it's your turn again. So you've taken your aim, and you get to do your next action, or you've taken your weapon out, and you're ready for your next.
So I'll use. I said it says speed 4 plus type of weapon.
So normal would, I think, be a +1.
Okay.
I think.
Now, realize prepare is a quick action, so you can combine that with a full action at that -3 penalty that I took the first time for moving.
No, I'm not going to do that. I won't combine it. He wants to fire carefully. So he'll use I guess it's 5 then to drop him down to a 16 to shoot one of these things. Ideally not to kill it.
Okie dokie, go ahead and roll.
So it says agility plus marksmanship plus my roll. So that's a 26.
And for me, I am going to dodge. So that's going to be athletics plus agi. You rolled a 26.
Yep.
Okay, I beat you by a lot.
Okay.
So we're going to be, yeah. So he sees it coming and he just kind of, he ducks down and it just plinks off one of the horns on his back.
Okay.
And as to it's 5 for the base, and then if it's an average weapon, it adds 2 to that, so that would be a 7
7. So
off the initiative.
Okay.
So I'm down to 15 then. Okay.
Yep. So,
Or
then,
I guess 4 plus the 2, yeah.
Okay. Then we go to the other one. So at this point, the guy that's standing with you, Aldo.
Yeah. Dan, for his part, is gonna
go
look
ahead.
confused, and he's not gonna make any aggressive. He's gonna
Mm.
put his hands up. He's like, "What the heck's going on?" And just look like what the
D20s that betrayed me outside of combat, but so far are agreeing with me once the fight started.
Roll me a deception.
Okay. 17 on the die. That's over 30. It's 17, 27, 33.
33. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I think that he's going to stand, and wow, that's really high. Let me see. I don't think he can even. Nope, he can't even make that. Oh boy. Okay, that changes my plans with him. Sure.
I'm just here to talk movies. I don't what the heck.
Nice. So I saw, where is that spell? Well, he is going to again say, "Stay here.
Yeah, of course.
Don't move." And let's see. I am, and he's gonna do that, and he's going to, move past you, Aldo. Or are you gonna do anything while he moves past you?
No, I'm just gonna watch where he goes for now.
Okay. He is going to head towards the room that the two of them are in.
Okay.
And okay, so I need to actually cast a spell at this point. So he's gonna walk up and I guess his first action is to walk up. So he's gonna take that action and spend that speed of getting there. And he's not gonna take it as a quick action to combine. It would not be in character for how he works. So he gets there. We're good. I'm gonna take off his initiative, and after him is going to be me again on the other bruiser. So the other bruiser is going to look down, and he's going to reach out at the person who has a weapon versus the person who's just been coming in unarmed, and he is going to swipe with his massive claws at you, aiming at you, Mr. Rizzo.
Okay.
So he's going to move over there and then do that. So
Yes,
he's going to combine.
Yes, he is.
So
that's going to cost. So that's going to cost him 8 points.
I don't think you pay for both of them on your initiative.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I pay 5 plus -3. That's 8.
No, it's a -3 penalty on your D20 roll.
Oh, okay. So then I miss. Okay, cool. So then that is going to be 15 that he's left with.
That's my understanding of it.
Okay.
Could be wrong.
So this, so 37? Wait, no. 35. Sorry, 35. 35 is going to hit on you.
How do I duck out of the way?
So that would be dodge. Yeah, go to reactions.
Are on page 181. You can block, which is an agi fists or weapons. You can dodge, which is an agi athletics.
Yeah, we'll go for dodge for sure.
Okay, go ahead and roll your
find
dodge.
cover. The character looks around and runs for the nearest cover to avoid being hit by arrows, firearms, or other ranged weapons. I guess not appropriate.
No. Well, there's no way I can beat that. No matter how good I roll, there is no way in hell I can crack a 30.
Okay. So, at that point, I have to figure out how to do damage. It's been a while, I forgot. Brandon, do you remember how to do damage?
So
I gotta ask Brendan, how the hell are you getting to the 40s?
I have a plus 28 to my melee.
Yeah, he's a combat
Ow.
monster, and I'm doing massive beast, so I'm pretty good as well. I have 17 to hit, and I have a plus 17 to hit at the moment.
So my breakdown is I'm using agility, not power.
Yeah.
That is one of my fists talents specialties. No, what are they called? Talents. Yeah.
Talents.
One of the talents. So I've got a 7 agi, I've got a 7 fists. I'm a pattern, so I get a +3 to a couple skills. One of
Yeah.
those is fists. And then if you take a specialty, you get another +3. I have dirty fighting as a specialty.
Okay.
And so that's a +3. My obligation, my reason for joining the API. It gives me a +3 to fists. My reason for staying as a warrior gives me a +2.
Okay.
And then I have, I think it's from athletics. One of the talents there is a +2 to a type of combat action, and I gave that to unarmed strikes.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. So, Brandon, do you remember how we do damage? Because
Yes,
it's been a
so
little while
Kevin
for me.
needs to roll a defense or choose to only take the hit, which will give you a defense of 10.
Mhm.
And then it is going to be, this is considered an unarmed for him, Alice?
This is an unarmed, but he gets a +3 damage from his claws.
Okay, so that's going to be 2 base damage, and then plus or 2 damage plus the base. So that's, you just said, is 3 for his
Mhm.
claws. Now, is that on top of, or is that just the standard for it?
That's just
Yeah,
the standard for him.
So attempting to roll knowing I'm going to fail is pointless, right?
No,
No,
because
you're going to be modifying the damage that you take.
Oh.
It
Well,
is
then
going
I'll
to
still
be.
try dodging
I just
then.
don't remember what the modifiers are. Brandon remembers.
Okay, well, my dodge got to a 27.
Okay.
That's pretty good. Alice,
That's
you got
pretty
a
good.
35?
I got a 35, yes.
35.
So that's
so he has succeeded, and he has 1 boost because he's beaten him by 8. So
Right.
every 5 you beat him by.
Yep.
I boost on every 4. Aldo boosts in combat every 6 because
Right.
he's not a fighter. And so that is going to be that base damage plus bonus damage or some other effect.
So I'm gonna add some bonus damage on top of that, so it goes up from 5 to, well, no, I think he's going to knock you back with his his effect. He's gonna just knock you, throw you, behind some stuff, so you're gonna have to crawl out of some stuff. Yeah, I think he's gonna knock you back, but that would be 5 damage.
So if I'm raining armor, do I knock 3 off, like, for regular armor?
Is this a killing attack?
No, this is not.
Okay, so then you would use that first number on your armor. So do you have light armor?
Medium or average armor.
Average armor, so yeah, I think that's 3 off.
Do you remember where my list of boosts would be for attacking? Because I think
page 171.
171, thank you. That's easy. Because I don't think knockback's going to be what he wants to do right now. I think he is going to... I think he's going to, since he's gotten so well, he's going to take time off that task. So, no, actually, he's got 1 attack left, and he's a big bruiser, so he's good with that. Truthfully, he would just do 1 more damage. Oh, no, yeah, he would just go and do it with style, I guess. I'll just do it with style. Yeah, I'll just leave it at 5 damage, do it with style. So he will smack down on you, and then he'll basically turn around and just huff and intimidate Claudia a bit. Just go like, look at what I just did.
5 less than 3 is 2 what I take then. Cool. Right?
Yep.
That's how that
yes.
works?
Yes, it is. Okay, so then it is that one's turn, and he is going to cast a spell. Okay. Brandon. The guy that the butler guy walks up behind you, and he says, "Excuse me. You're not supposed to be here." And when he says "excuse me," he's going to try and tap your shoulder.
Okay.
So, let's see if he succeeds. So it's a ranged touch.
What initiative are we at, by the way?
We are currently on initiative 20.
Okay.
And okay, pain penalties. So how do I do a touch attack on you? I guess it's just the normal thing, and then against your dodge. So let me roll his thingy. So that would be agi plus. Ooh, well, I don't think he's gonna touch you, sadly, but that's a 31.
Okay.
31 to touch.
And he's taken his actions to cast it as well.
Yes, he has.
Okay.
Excuse me, you're not supposed to be here.
So I am at a 32.
Okay. So you beat him by 1, right? Yep, I rolled a 31. Okay. So he just misses your shoulder just barely. And then he is done, and he takes that off. So at that point, it's your turn, Claudia.
I'm a 16 now.
Oh, you're 16.
Wait, does yeah.
16.
Sorry, you go. I only
yeah.
go, okay.
It's still your turn because you win against the other guy, but you tie with somebody else on 16.
Okay. So which guy ran at Kevin?
The one that you punched in the balls.
The one that I punched
Oh no, the one you
balls.
didn't punch in the balls. Sorry, the one you didn't punch in the balls because he took a 2-action hit. So the one you did not punch in the balls. Went at Kevin.
So then I am going to go ahead and continue on the one that I punched in the balls. I am going to grab off of a table pitcher of water, fling it at his eyes, and then try and rabbit punch him.
Okay, go ahead.
To get around his guard. Oh, hold on. Do I have anything that I need to call right now?
I can tell you're not a fighter, Aldo.
I'm going to give him a +5 to his reaction roll.
Oh, okay.
So that is going to be 44.
44, and he gets a bonus, you said, because you did something?
He gets +5 to his reaction.
Okay. I said, Aldo, I can tell that you're not a fighter because of the initiative you're on.
Yes. I also rolled a natural 1, but yes, I'm definitely not a fighter.
So yeah, I failed on that defense because even with a +25, my mod is really hard to get to that point. So you're
Well, if I'd rolled 1 higher, I'd have crit him.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes me feel a little better.
What did he roll?
I rolled a 36.
36. So
that's
I
2
have
degrees.
Boosted twice. So this is going to be 2 damage. I am stinging like a bee, so I get another 2 damage.
Okay.
So that's 4 damage. I'll go ahead and bring that up to 5 damage. I'm going to punch him, and then I'm going to punch the butler.
Okay. You punch him, and it's just like punching a stone freaking wall. You punch this big shag carpet, basically. You know, this really and it's really rough horse boar hair, and it just prickles and it hurts. But I punch in, and it's just this brick wall. And he seems to almost be like, whatever. You did do a little bit to him.
So yeah, I've got 5 on him, and then basically I splash the water, and then I just kind of throw it at the butler as I rabbit punch the guy.
Okay, how much damage did you do on the butler? Well, actually, I get to roll.
That depends on his defense.
Yep, his defense. So, I rolled a natural 19. 19 plus he only gets a +13 to defense. So that is a
32. So 32. 44. So I've got 3 boosts up on him. So that did you count his +5?
No, I did not. So 1 degree less.
So I get 1 boost. So I end up with 5 damage on him.
Okay, 5 damage on him. Ooh. Well, he, on the other hand, suddenly is seeing Tweety birds. Okay. Ooh. Okay, Claudia, what's your new initiative?
My new initiative is 13. No, it's a little lower. 11.
11. Okay. And my next one is on the bruiser that you punched in the balls that took it to not lose actions. He will turn around and he will attack you. He is going to, let me see if there's anything I can do to boost his damage here. Boost his attack here. Because you're nasty. I definitely think that for my first try, well, it's these two would beat the snot out of those two, but they're definitely not touching you. So I am going to do. Ooh. Let's do a
from
pain
what
strike.
I'm hearing is these two would roast us if I were not here. Like if I was a different character.
Yeah.
Well, I knew you were a combat monster, so I tried to up them a bit because I upped them a bit. But yes, they would not be this bad if you weren't the combat monster. But I think even scaling that, I didn't scale it, but they're still going to beat the snot out of those two. It's kind of like when you told Alex or whoever if they wanted an AC 40, great, but that means that I have to scale for it. So I'm going to go for that. Ooh, that's nice. 19, that's 42 on this one.
Gonna go with the block for Agi Fists.
Okay.
So 38.
Okay. So he actually went and he whacked you straight up, and that was 1 degree of bonus, I heard.
If he's a natural fighter, that is 1 degree.
Yes, he is a
Right.
natural fighter. So he is going to do 6 points of damage to you.
Okay.
And again, he's like, claws down at you, and he growls. And as he growls, it's kind of just like he growls as he snorts. So he's like, and growls at the same time. And the big teeth that come out, the latex just falls off his chin and just drops on the ground.
I will go ahead and spend a focus to cut that damage down by 25%. It's normally by 50%.
Okay.
Or down to 25%.
Okay.
But I have pushed through pain, which allows me to cut it to 25%. At that point, the armor soaks it.
Okay, nice. So you take nothing. So you're like, whatever. He lost that initiative. Okay, so he's down to that, and he has 1 action left. Oh no, he has two actions left. He's the other one. Rizzo, and you go first, Rizzo. You're next. You've got a bruiser in front of you that's about to go as well.
Let's try this. So I will take aim.
Okay.
And then I think I can take this all as one, right?
Yeah.
If I'm reading this right, take aim and fire.
Okay. You're gonna just try and fire point blank in his face.
I have enhanced aim.
And you're a Deadeye.
And I'm a Deadeye.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what Deadeye. Well, it says for the enhanced game, so extra +5 to the head.
I don't remember, but because
I just looked it up to make sure.
Deadeye.
That puts that at a 33.
That puts that as a 33 in his face. He is going to try and dodge out of that again.
So take aim is a support action, so those aren't ones that we can combine from what I'm seeing.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem, but I will take aim for next time.
Okay, you're gonna you're gonna take 3 speed off yourself, and you're taking aim, and so you're like point blanking, and the guy's just right over you, this massive creature over you, and he is going to roll. He's going to attack you. He's actually going to attack you with something that's a little less common for him to hit, but it seems like something that might be better for him right now. He's going to pain strike you. So he's going to try and hit you in the family jewels, or in this case, in the back of the head, or right on the tip of your neck, or or on your shoulder, to try and make it painful. Ooh, that is only that's plus Agi, that's 22. 22 to attack you.
I have a chance. I got a 22 to defend.
You defend on the dot. So he's, trying to basically sink his claws directly into the back of your neck, strike down, and you just, with your taking aim, you just dodge out of his way and take your negatives. And this guy's out of actions.
So the negatives for that is -3 to do that, guys, right?
For dodge? Yeah. Oops.
That's down to 9.
Okay, so that's a 10, and he's out of actions. Okay. Rizzo, you're next.
All right, and I will attempt to shoot him.
Okay.
And hey, look at that! I got the same thing. So
And this is your third action, right, Rizzo?
yeah, the last action, yeah,
Cool.
which will knock off, which leaves me with 2 initiative in the bank.
Okay.
Which we're almost up to Aldo getting an action.
I know, right? Right?
I rolled well on my initiative. I had a 15, so
Yeah, so I'm once again I'm at a 28 to hit him.
Okay.
Oh no, sorry. No, I lied. 33 to hit him. That's right. I'm getting the extra +5.
Okay. Well, you hit a 33. Let me see. I rolled really well, so I blow way past you.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
Go ahead.
We'll have a debrief at the end.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I gotta relook. I tried to make a guy that was a balance between being able to do combat and stuff, looking at some of the characters in the book, and I feel completely outmatched.
Well, right now you're supposed to against these two. I have. If you were fighting the other guy, you wouldn't be. You'd be beating the snot out of that guy. Built these two bruisers for Brandon to handle because Brandon built a combat machine with no capabilities for anything else. You two have a lot of investigative skills.
I have other skills, but you know.
Yeah, Brandon is very much. These two are for Brandon to handle. You two are supposed to handle the other guy. You would be chewing the other guy up. Okay. So, speaking of the other guy, yeah, the other guy's gonna.
Tweety birds last I heard, but
yeah,
I don't know
he's
what
seen
that meant.
Tweety birds. Well, as in like he took a pretty good hit, but he is going to try and touch you with that same spell that he had.
And what initiative are we at this point?
We are at 12. What's up?
I must have miscounted my initiative at some point then.
You told me you're at 11.
Yeah, no, I'm at an 8 now.
Oh, okay.
But I thought that I had gone on 12. Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
No, you went on higher.
Cool.
So you're
That's
on
fine.
8 right
no,
now.
I wasn't saying that you were wrong in any regard. I was like, I think that I might have messed up at some point.
On touching you, Brandon, I touch on a 30 right now.
Okay. I will go ahead and parry that.
And that's because I rolled really well on him.
I'm skyrocketed on that. I rolled a 19.
Yeah, not surprised. He's meant to hit the other two, but right now with the position in the room, I think that and one of them's pretending that nothing's going on in his face, so he's like, okay, I'm gonna go deal with the other two. So at that point, he's done with all his actions. And see, Merle only has 2 actions, so he's he's done both.
Who's Merle? Because he's done 3 actions.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he has 3. I'm sorry.
That's the butler.
I meant Bruiser has 2 actions left. Yes, the butler has 3 actions. Exactly 3. I apologize. But yes, I just spent my last action on him. And that leaves him at a 4 initiative. And then we go up to the Bruiser who has no nit left. And then the Bruiser that has a nit left on 11. So the Bruiser that has, that's on his 4th action. Last action on the other Bruiser. He is going to attack Claudia. Oh, I rolled well. I rolled an 18 plus 17, so that's 35. You're gonna beat me, aren't you?
32.
32. Okay, I get 1 degree of success on you. So he does 5 points of damage.
Success, no boost.
Yeah, 5 damage.
Okay.
Straight
I'll
5.
Take 2.
No boost. Okay. And then he goes down by 5, so he's a 6. Oh my gosh, Aldo, you're next. Well, you and Claudia, but I believe Claudia beats you. So
I'm a 5.
Oh, that's right. You took.
Actually, sorry, I just parried. I'm a 2.
You're a 2 now. Aldo, your action.
Well, he's not going to go into combat. What the direction that they were taking me towards?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to continue to prowl in that direction, trying to be stealthy. I mean, if he figures if he can get to the heart of whatever's here, maybe he can somehow shut down the goons. But so he's going to prowl ahead.
Okay, you can prowl ahead. Okie dokie. Well, I'm going to. You can prowl ahead, and ahead of you is a study. The doors to a study. You can tell that much. So. You're going to go sneak into the study, and why don't you roll me a stealth check?
Sure. rolled a 14 on the die. Let me take a look at the character sheet here. Ah. Yeah.
And the truth is, I think that the butler is going to go
It's,
after Rizzo next, because Rizzo looks a lot more his pick on somebody his own size kind of feeling.
It's a 25 total.
25. Okay. Well, with all the negatives going around, let's see. Okay. You find yourself in a dimly lit study that's lit by basically a single lamp on the desk, and there are books everywhere. You do see what look to be manuscripts stacked onto chairs, onto chairs where normally you'd have 2 chairs for guests, but instead of for guests, they're just manuscripts stacked on top of them in a mess. And there's nobody sitting behind the desk at this point. But instead, what you see at the desk is an old school typewriter. And
Okay.
And then I'm going to pause you there, and then we go back.
Sure.
And we're going to roll in nits from the top, because at this point, Claudia, you're out of actions, right?
No, I have 4 actions. I just only have 2 initiative. I've gotten to do almost nothing actively during this.
Okay.
Because I have been just parrying basically to keep them off me. So initiative 0 is the lowest anyone can drop, and they cannot overstep this number. If they reach initiative 0, the character cannot take actions as they've expended. They can, however, opt to perform one last-ditch action or reaction, but suffer a penalty to their next initiative check for the round equal to how much they go over times 2. All right, so I just basically slow down my next round by taking something now. Or I can just get another +2. So what is my unarmed speed is a 5, so that would be a -6.
Mm-hmm.
I'd basically be at my normal initiative, counting those. I will go ahead and take a +8 to my next initiative.
Okay. So we are going to roll a niche then. Oh.
So if you have unspent actions, those convert to a +2 to your initiative.
So I had one unspent action, so it's a +1 to my initiative. Is that right?
+2.
Does that have +2? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I rolled a natural 20 on this one.
Oh, nice.
Not that it's but
Claudia, what about you?
42.
Okay, 42. Wow.
I rolled a 19.
Rizzo, what about you?
Aldo, you get your focus back.
Yes, I took note of that.
Rizzo, what about you?
23.
23. Okay.
I took punctual as one of my talents, gifts, whatever they're called.
Mm-hmm.
So I roll initiative twice and take the better one.
So Dan, what about you?
29 is the final number.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Rizzo, I'm sorry. Your 23 is what you rolled?
No, that's my total.
Oh, okay,
Like,
cool.
Roll plus my.
I was going to add it for you. And so what were you, Aldo, total?
It's a 29. I rolled a natural 20 plus 7 for my initiative score, and then I had +2 for the unused combat.
Okay. Okay, cool. But yeah, Rizzo, if you went up against Merle, you would beat the snot out of him. So it's just that I gave 2 big bruisers for the person that I knew was a combat maniac to fight.
I'm not.
We will keep it going for now, but I will debrief at the end.
Okay, cool.
I am not a maniac.
Okay, fine.
I have been very controlled and I'm actually a lifesaver.
Cool. Claudia, you're 42. You're first.
Okay. I'm going to take a swing at the butler.
Okay. I want the butler to fight Rizzo so he can see how easy it is to beat Rizzo, or Rizzo to beat him. But I don't think that's going to happen.
So this was not a great roll.
Not a great roll sounds good for me right now.
32.
That was not a great roll, huh?
That is not a great roll.
You beat me by 2 degrees. 2 boosts.
By 2 degrees. Okay, I will up damage by 1 degree. And I will... No, I'm just going to up damage by 2 degrees. So that's 4 damage on him.
Okay. Merle goes down. Oh, that hurt. You're rude. And he just kind of glug, 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 glug. And he just kind of turns into a puddle on the ground.
Is that from Hangovers?
It sometimes it is, but not that way.
So Dan, your action. Oh, what? How much did it take off your
37.
37. You're at 37. Dan, your initiative.
Yeah, 29. He's just stepping into the room, and he's gonna walk stealthily up to the typewriter and look
Okay.
to see, is there like a paper sticking out of it or anything?
Yeah, there's
like
a
that?
paper
Is there...
sticking out of it, and it seems to be typing. Like the buttons are going down. There's currently no ink tape, so there you can't see the letters going on it, but and letters are moving up and down.
Okay, he's going to reach over the shoulders of the person who's typing and
there's nothing.
Like,
there's no one sitting in the chair.
The person
Okay,
who's typing, right? The invisible person who's
Uh-huh.
typing, right? Or whatever. He's basically going to bend all of the typing, the metal keys that type in an old typewriter, right? He's going to grab them and bend them to distort them so they can't type.
Okay.
Yeah, and damage them so they can't type.
Okay.
With his, by the way, with his, he's going to use his cybernetic hand to just actually crush that mechanism.
Okay. I need you to roll a combat skill for that. Roll an attack on that. Now I need to figure out how that would work.
Would this be an application of strength, Alice?
Yes, that would be an application of strength. I'm talking about I need to figure out how something else I figured out was going to work.
I will blow all of my focus points on this action.
Okay, go for it.
What in every possible way that I can burn a focus point in this way, I will use them.
Sure.
So I don't know what they do exactly, but
I think you're just burning. So what's your roll?
Okay, it's a 15 on the die. I'm not really sure what bonuses I'm adding here.
Okay.
So I don't really have I have fighting. I think I have fighting 1, right?
Well,
so that would be a 16, and then
if it's strength, that's a derived characteristic that you could use. Because I don't know if it's just Alice, because he can just crush.
Yeah, he can just crush it.
And so your limb would give you +5 on top of your normal strength for that.
So
so
what would a magic save be like in this game?
There's literally magic resist.
Yeah, I guess it would be that. So roll your magic.
I believe that is insight divided by 2 determines the magic resist.
Yeah. So, but does he actually roll magic resist, or is that just what damage would be resisted?
You can use resistances for active rolls.
Okay. Roll me a magic resist then, please.
Okay.
When you crush them, and all of you, you see this outside too, where you guys are, you guys feel this basically concussive wave come out when he crushes the stuff.
So I rolled a 17 on the die, but what do I do?
You add your magic resist.
Which is, I don't have it calculated. Did you say it was
insight divided by 2?
Yeah.
Round up or down?
Round down.
Always round down.
So 3. So it's a 20 total.
20. Okay. And I had set that as okay.
And then if I get +5 to that, I don't know if I get plus.
Why do you think you get +5 to that?
I don't know what I'm.
Depending on the nature of the magic.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just rolling stuff that you're telling me to roll. So I don't know what actually is.
Yeah. Based on the nature of the magic, I will tell you want to spend a reroll right now. You want to roll 2 points higher. Otherwise, we can go to what happens to you.
Well, in what way can I use a focus point to do that?
You spend a focus to reroll.
Okay.
You want to get a little bit higher.
I rolled a 17 on the die. It's not likely that I'm going to, so I'm just going to go ahead and take one.
Sure. Then I'll get back to you in just a minute. A concussive wave of energy floods out of the room that he is in, and the two big bruiser brutes suddenly, like, basically just stop moving. And the smell in here suddenly gets very heavily like formaldehyde and brimstone. Like, you smell formaldehyde and brimstone. It just, this very thick smell of it fills the room. But they just kind of freeze in motion. So, Claudia, it's your action again.
Okay. So they are frozen.
Yes, they're frozen.
The butler is down.
Yes, the butler is down.
Okay. Rizzo, are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
We should investigate.
So these two big guys are out too?
They are standing frozen in midair. Like,
Yeah.
this concussive energy went out, like these blue waves of concussive energy came through the room that you guys are in, and the two of them are just kind of frozen in the spot where they were.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we should.
I guess we're moving, Alice.
Cool. You move. You guys go and join him in join Aldo in the study. And Aldo, you are, like, after you crush them, your mind just fills with images, and you can't, and just tons and tons of images that you can't keep track of and, you know, make sense of. It's like suddenly someone is typing, rapid fire typing, and creating images in your mind. And you know, you hear a narrator, you know, a voiceover in this, like, deep British voice, male deep British voice, and our heroes, and I'm sorry, I can't do British, and our heroes go into, and then you just kind of, like, it just garbles into, and then every so often you hear a word, you know, deceived by, and just massive amounts of images. And you guys see Aldo, and he's just, like, he's basically, you know, on his knees, and his hands are over his.
Go ahead,
Aldo.
Can I be stumbling around in, like, bad 1960s overacting, like, Twilight Zone episode, holding on to my forehead, like, you know, camera, like, right up my face and looking all maniacal and stuff?
Absolutely, yes, and your hair going all over the place.
That would be a lot of fun.
Sure, that's exactly the image you guys find him in.
And he's trying to, like, physically, like, shake. It's almost like the more physical actions he takes, it's like he's trying to shake the stuff out of his mind.
Mm-hmm.
He's stumbling around, knocking over things.
That's the image you guys find when you walk in, and, you know, he's knocking books off the bookshelf, right, Aldo? You know,
yeah.
Books are just coming off the bookshelf. The manuscripts that were on the chairs are just flying. Pages are flying through the air as you guys come in. What do you guys do?
Is this part of hangovers?
No, this is normally part of what causes the hangovers.
If he can try to, like, let me know at any point that he can try to fight back.
Okay.
Mentally, right? Like, if he can start, like, trying to overpower the various narratives.
Okay.
Like,
you definitely will get a chance to.
Okay, yeah, just let me know. But he will try when he can.
Okay, I'm just going to give the two of them a moment to react.
Yep.
First.
Yep.
Going to start just looking around in the area to try and find out what the heck has happened.
Okay. Roll me investigation. And Kevin, what about you? What are you doing?
You mean perception?
Sure. Yes, perception. What about you, Kevin?
Yeah, largely the same thing. I'm trying to figure out, like, what the heck is up.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Go ahead and roll your perception.
What stuff was Dan messing with?
I'm at 13. I rolled a 2.
Okay, what perception?
As soon as it's out of combat, my dice rolls are just god awful.
I noticed that. What's your perception talent, by the way, Kevin?
My perception talent is it's keen sense of sight to help balance out my bad rat eyes,
Okay.
and I already possess pluses to smell and hearing because I'm a rat.
Okay.
So 16. You say intelligence? We're adding no insight,
Insight.
right?
Yes.
24.
24. Okay. Mm-hmm. Um, and you added your keen senses, the +2.
No, I did not. 26 with the keen senses. Which keen sense am I adding?
This would be sight probably.
Then it's only plus. Then I believe keen senses are normally +3. In this case, it's only +1 because I'm offsetting my -2.
Keen senses are normally +2.
Oh, then it's what I rolled.
Okay.
It's offsetting.
Cool.
I believe I got -2 for being a rat.
Okay, and then you have and it's 26 for smell.
Yes, it's 26 for smell.
Okay. And Brandon, you sucked, right? Okay.
13.
Okay. So Kevin, you smell a smell in the air. Smells like perfume. Like it's very, very faint in the air underneath the brimstone, the latex, and the formaldehyde smells that have been permeating the area. But there is a faint smell of, you'd guess, some sort of lavender perfume faintly in the air. And for sight, what you guys see is the typewriter, and the typewriter and it's still basically trying to type. It's still trying to move. The buttons are still moving, but the strikes aren't hitting anymore because it's been crushed. Well, Brandon doesn't see this because he rolled suck, but Kevin, you see that the tines on the button, on the taps, I forget the technical term, but they've been crushed and bent and broken away. But the keys are still moving down with empty strokes happening. The room is a flurry of a mess because Aldo's been like knocking into books. Books are flying off the shelves. There are stacked pages of papers on chairs that are flying through the air and knocked off the chairs. That's what you see.
All right. Well, once again, I feel like we could use Swayze, but
Swayze.
But I will. But we see Dan. We can see him, or he's disappeared.
Yeah, you see Dan. Okay. You see Dan in the way that Aldo. Would you like to describe what you're doing again? How it looks?
Yeah. It's like I mean, he's in the room. He's kind of like yelling, like kind of maniacally holding his forehead, and it looks like something's tormenting him mentally, and he's kind of flinging himself around the room, almost as if like by flinging his body around, he'll kind of dislodge whatever mental hold is on his head. So he's like in the process, he's kind of tearing up the room until it looks like he's trying to like overpower something mentally, but it's kind of physically manifesting. It's basically from the William Shatner School of Acting, yeah.
I believe that in a previous game you described that as your favorite pain.
Yes. Yes, that's right. Excellent. That was last summer.
So, is there any reaction, Kevin?
In his head, Rizzo will be blaming the typewriter, and therefore he will try and bust it. He's good at that.
Okay, you can go over to the typewriter. Okay. What are you trying to do?
I'm going to attempt to use a technology skill. I'm assuming it's tech. I think that's what it is. Well, I'm not sure. Craft or tech. I know one of my tech specialty is disable, but I can certainly try and. I just want the typewriter, like it's the keys are typing despite being broken.
Yeah, the keys are still moving up and down, but the hammer, that's what it is. The hammers are broken, and the hammers aren't striking on the paper anymore. It looks like it looks like basically the hammers are broken. But the buttons are still going up and down, up and down, up and down.
So I'm guessing Dan, I don't know if Dan did that, but I'm going to try and make sure that it's working again. Maybe that'll bring Dan back out.
Okay. Go ahead and try and jury rig then. That would be craft.
Yep. Intellect?
Yes, intellect.
29 plus whatever I get for actually having jury rig.
Okay.
I don't remember.
You can get the hammers to line up again, by like taking your tools and it starts to ding 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 again.
Mhm.
You can tell that there's definitely more than just tech here because it is not designed to be an automatic typewriter. Um, and Aldo,
Mhm.
you can at this point, the last scenes that I will leave you with as it starts to bleed out of you and back to the typewriter, and you can start fighting it fighting it
Mhm.
off at this point. Have you ever watched any Murder She Wrote movies or Columbo movies?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, of
these
course.
are the scenes that are going through your head, and in the place of Columbo or the woman from Murder She Wrote, you see your party as the detective characters, and you
Mhm.
see the fancy socialites and da 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 da, and you realize that like the house that is happening in the Murder She Wrote very much mirrors the house that you guys are currently in, and these images will
Mhm.
stick with you as it fades back into the typewriter.
Okay.
But you're it's going to take you a moment to fight your way out.
Okay.
Why don't you roll me insight and let's see. Roll me insight and discipline.
Discipline.
Mm-hmm.
How do I figure discipline out again? Is that a
Discipline's an
derived
actual
stat?
skill.
Discipline's a skill.
Oh, it's a skill. I don't have that one.
Okay, just roll
Okay.
me insight
So
then.
yeah, I'm gonna blow a focus point because I rolled a 7 on that.
Okay.
So I rolled a 15. Now it's a 22.
Okay. So you can remember little bits and pieces, and you manage to maintain your sanity. You're
Okay.
right now. You're feeling okay. You think it's rough right now, but you think it's not going to leave long-term damage on your brain. You don't think you need to be in an asylum.
Okay. Okay.
So, Kevin, you are
Yes,
playing with
ma'am.
a typewriter still.
Yep.
Okay, what are you going to continue doing after that you fix it?
Well, what I'm trying to do is I'm watching to see what effect it has on Dan, because that was my plan, that maybe this will help him.
Okay, Dan, why don't you describe how things are changing for you at the moment? How you look?
Okay. So he's calming down. He's like, holding his forehead. He's calming down. He's breathing heavily. And if he sees that Rizzo fixed the typewriter, he's going to do anything that he can to kind of like communicate no, like I don't know that he can actually say it, but his eyes will probably convey that, try to convey
You
that
have
that thing
maybe
cannot.
if you want to go physically do something, maybe go physically, smack the smack him or smack the typewriter, feel free to take
Well,
physicality to it.
if he can physically do something, he'll grab the heaviest thing he can in the room that he can lift,
Mhm.
and he'll run over to the typewriter, and he'll just like now I get to do another Star Trek thing,
Nice.
spot crushing the
Nice.
monitor,
Mhm.
So basically, with those kinds of actions, I love that kind of melodrama. Go over and just try to crush the typewriter, not without physically touching it with his hand,
Mhm.
right? But try to crush it so the keys are destroyed as well as like the rest of the mechanisms.
Okay, Kevin,
Right.
what's your reaction to this? How do you want to interact with this
Well, if he
situation?
wants to trash the typewriter,
Uh-huh.
I can help with that.
Okay. Is that your plan at that point?
Yep, it'll be my plan.
Okay.
I trust Dan. What's the worst thing that can happen? I was already punched by a giant demon.
Rizzo, why don't you now roll me a magic resist? Because you are hands-on.
So, discipline?
It is a magic resist.
It'll be in your derived stats.
Last one
Left
is
side of the
derived
cheat.
Ooh, I rolled a nat 20.
Nice.
Get a focus.
Get a focus,
I'm
and
up to 4 focus again.
another shockwave of energy comes out of the typewriter as you can break it, but and a couple images flash through your mind, but it doesn't stick with you. It just immediately flips, and you even can try to keep the image in your mind of one of the things you saw, but it goes away.
Yeah.
And he'll keep pounding at the typewriter long after it's like
After it's
destroyed,
broken.
right?
Okay. So you
Yeah.
destroy the typewriter. And suddenly, once the typewriter is destroyed, everything around you becomes that derelict, ghost town, broken, modern scenario that you guys are in.
All right then.
The one exception being that all the books are still there in this room. Everything's worn, everything's aged, and such like that. The wallpaper is coming off the walls. The wall is clearly broken down and aged and does not look like it wants to stand. Looks vermin infested. But the bookshelves are old. But the books, as old and dusty and mildewed and rotting as they are, all the books are there. The manuscripts, the papers are there, aged and yellowed. Papers are all aged and yellowed. The curtains to the window, and this is they are, they flow open, and there's no window pane where it was. It's now just an empty, hollow space, and you can feel the breeze coming in from the outside.
Have we fixed something by breaking it?
I think so.
Yeah,
Rizzo,
maybe.
man, thanks. I owe you. You got that thing out of my head.
You're
Oh, well.
feeling better, Dan?
Yeah. Well, yeah, no. It depends. It's relative.
Dan,
I feel the same way about our hangover. This has been very informative.
Dan and Rizzo, you two hear crying, weeping of a woman in your minds. Like you hear it like it's around you, all around you, but you can't find the source.
The two. Sorry, you said Dan and Rizzo.
Dan and Rizzo, you two hear weeping, a woman's weeping. Demure weeping. You know what I mean by demure weeping? Okay.
I think so. Can picture.
I got it. Yeah. I will attempt to focus in and see. It's all around us. I'll try and pinpoint it if I can.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Turn inward. I'm going to assume it's kind of in my head a little bit. I'm going to kind of like close my eyes and like try to tune in that way.
Okay. You guys, you focus in, and what you guys see in your mind is a woman dressed in I would say 1920s flapper outfit. She's got the strap, the strap around the forehead, but both of you see a third eye that the strap seems to be trying to basically cover over her eye. She's got green eyes, long blonde hair, and she looks beautiful. She looks gorgeous, and she's just sitting in the chair that was at the typewriter, and she's got her legs curled up on top of the chair with her, and she's just crying. In your minds, you see when you close your eyes, you see her on that chair, and she's just sitting there crying.
He'll kind of think the name like Miss Agatha.
Okay. And Rizzo, what about you?
I was gonna do the same thing. So, yep.
Okay.
Can I look over and see Rizzo in my mind?
You guys look, with your eyes closed, it's just black.
Okay,
other than that
right.
one image.
Okay, all right.
You don't get a response when you say Miss Agatha, and then you snap out of it. You stop hearing it. And the image of her fades away.
Anyone else hear the crying lady?
I heard her.
Okay.
I have not heard anyone crying.
You're young. It'll happen.
I think it's because we touched the typewriter. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She and
good
she
idea.
touched and she touched our minds. So yeah.
Those
But I
keys
think
are
we broke.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What was it?
Well, I said those keys were still typing. Were they trying to type out a certain phrase or word? I wonder if we can figure that out.
She was typing the story. I think she was typing what was happening to you guys.
Oh, okay.
She was, and then I assume that she was still typing what was happening to me after I broke the keys or the hammers, and that's why I was losing it. So when you fixed the typewriter, it moved. It tried moving back to the typewriter, but then I smashed it in time.
Okay.
So we broke her connection to this world.
So she was haunting that
And
thing.
she was haunting it, and then she was creating reality by typing her ideas and her fantasies and her, well, she had a
Yeah,
preference for an old Hollywood aesthetic, so
You guys can
we got
roll
the
me.
benefits of that.
Yeah, you guys can roll me knowledges.
I was actually going to ask if they might know anything on things that we could do.
It's a
14.
20 for me. Wait, is that right? Yeah, it's a 20 for me.
Okay, and Kevin?
I'm adding intellect.
Yes, IQ.
I'm at 20 as well. Like
Okay.
intellect plus knowledge. Yeah.
The
20
two
as well.
20s, who also happen to see her, recognize her as an oracle. And you guys also recognize that oracles are illegal on Earth.
You said illegal.
Illegal. Yes, they are an illegal race. Whenever they are found, they are exiled, murdered, or any other way of removal, and API is often responsible for being sent to remove them.
It's like high five. I just
Yeah.
And the reason being is that oracles are basically hyper versions of oracles of Delphi. They are, they have 3 eyes, they are seers, they are known to be unlucky, but they are known to basically be able to see the future, manipulate the future in some cases, and they're honest to a fault. And these are things that you guys know from profiles of reading and stuff like that, but oracles are not wanted on Earth because of the power that they can, of their ability to influence the way that reality, futures can be, such like that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I guess we have to report back to HQ that there were, we dispensed with an oracle here. We need to get back to town to see if some of those people.
Yeah, we should go. Definitely want to check on that waitress girl.
Angie, yeah.
Okay. So I'm not sure what, like, I'm assuming in his whatever thing, it looks like I don't know if it's a suit jacket or what, but Rizzo reaches him in. I'm assuming he keeps him wherever he keeps him when he looks like normally, and pulls out a couple of cigars, takes one himself, and offers one to Dan.
Thanks, man. He takes it.
Okay.
And lights up.
Victory dance, my friend. Victory dance.
Your family is mean, by the way. I'm only allowed some very specific things.
You do not have to tell me my family is mean. My family are a bunch of jerks.
So you guys, so you are smoking cigars, and you walk outside, and you walk out into the living room, and where the 2 creatures that had frozen were, you see 2 boar rugs on the ground. 2
Nice.
big.
These were not
rugs.
here before.
I think it's all part of the magic of the typewriter.
He's gonna wipe his foot on one of them as we walk.
You swear when you do that, you hear it snort. Makes you jump a little in your skin.
He'll shudder a little bit, yeah, and then move quickly off of it.
Okay. You guys go back into town. When you guys go back into town, you guys find about 3 dozen people looking around.
And one spectral.
And yes, one spectral, being that that will be John's character. And about 2 to 3 dozen people looking around, very confused and very much lost. And they're looking around like, where are we? What's going on? There's a TV show that they end up in a town, abandoned town, and they have to figure out what's going on. I forget what the name of it is, but
That was an excellent TV show.
Yeah, it came after Lost. And in the wake of Lost. But basically it's kind of that situation where all these people are like, where are we? Who are you? What's going on? And one of them is Angie Myers. And she's now dressed in Daisy Dukes and very modern tank top. 17-year-old, so it's kind of like a crop top with Daisy Dukes. She's on vacation in the sun, and that's what she's dressed in now instead of that that vertical stripe red waitress outfit. And her hair is now braided into one braid in the back. What would you guys like to do?
It's Persons Unknown, and it's a 10-year-old show this year.
That's right, Persons Unknown. So,
but
scenes in your hands.
Are there particular API protocols for dealing with folks who, who have stumbled across the weird but should be not, aware of it?
This didn't happen. Ka-ching.
Do we have that?
It is a possibility, is from what I read. So yes, you can have that. You can have acquisition that. This didn't happen. And you guys can try and make up some sort of cover story for them. What kind of cover story would you like to make up for them?
I can just see Rizzo going, kind of elbowing Dan. Tell him about the swamp gas.
All right, folks. There used to be a swamp in this desert, and no, I'm just playing. He oh gosh, I don't know. He will approach folks. Probably Angie first. Angie Myers, right?
Yep, Angie Myers.
Strike up a brief conversation with her, calm her down, and then as he's calming her down, let other see that he's kind of talking to her, and then kind of like pull them into the circle of conversation and basically gather. All right, everybody, and kind of gather them around, and then he'll tell them a story. I don't know what.
Yeah, when you ask, Angie Myers, she looks at you like, do I know you? And she's. What's going on? Do I know you?
I do know you, kid. Why you don't know me? I know you. And he'll flash the photograph that was in the file. You've been missing for a while. You don't have any memory of.
No. Where am I? I was supposed to be on a trip with Mom and Pop.
You were, and they lost track. That's why I'm here looking for with the government. And
I was going to say things got a little crazy at last night's after party. Thank you for being extras on the film. Universal Studios will be in touch with you.
Okay. So yeah, it sounds like, you guys...
Special effects in California are amazing.
Amazing.
Okay.
He'll defer to that story. He'll start spinning off of that.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then, just basically, he's just going to kind of calm down, get them together. We're going to get busted, get you. Then he's going to call API and call it all in, right? And let them know that we have, 20 or so people that we need to be picked up and then taken to the proper homes. And he'll also let them know that we have a house with a bunch of paperwork that probably needs to be gathered and gone through, that we had an oracle that we, dispatched and that we need to dispense with, and that we need to basically secure that location. And otherwise just go through that.
So when you mention the oracle, they ask, so where's the oracle's body? We need to take the body into custody. And then you guys realize, wait, yeah, oracles are supposed to be physical beings like us.
Well, we didn't see a body. We saw her in a kind of a psychic image. She was behaving more like a ghost than like a living oracle. So I don't know if she was the ghost of an oracle. And when we destroyed her physical device that seemed to tether her to this realm, she kind of vanished. There was kind of a psychic echo for a moment, but then she kind of vanished. So I don't know. Get your specialist on it.
Okay. So you report that in and report that you guys dealt with some sort of spectral Oracle. And okay. And we fade to black then, unless there's anything else anybody wanted to add to the report. Awesome. Then we fade to black. And we can do our feedback, which I believe Kevin has some stuff he wants to start us off with. So feedback to start with.
I get to start off.
Yes.
Okay. Said with the start that I actually had fun as always. It at least within combat, it appears to be a system or a game that rewards system mastery into how combat goes. Now I'm willing to give it more time to see, but I genuinely felt singularly useless that whole time. And I tried to base my character on templates from the book to be a bit of a mix, to like not super skill guy or super combat guy, somewhere in the middle. So definitely when I was in the tech space, knocking him dead. But as soon as we're in a fight, I felt completely outmatched, like to the point where I was rolling 18s and missing. And that just in quotes feels bad, man. But I'm willing to keep going to see how it feels. Like,
okay.
I still obviously had fun. So.
Aldo, what about you?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun too. I really enjoyed the adventure itself. I enjoyed as always, I enjoyed the kind of the flavor that you lend to all the scenarios that you've GM for me, and I enjoyed playing DeFalco. I mean, he did feel useless in combat, but I didn't even try combat. It's not the play style I was going for, right? So I didn't mind when other people were having combat and I wasn't. But then I actually took the not a combatant modifier for him, right? So I knew that I wasn't going to be troubled by that, and I liked that when I decided to skulk off to see if there was something else that he could do with his particular skill set, that there was something for him to do with his particular skill set, right? Like if I had gone into the study and then there was like another giant creature there that I couldn't fight, that would have been a really big issue, right? But there wasn't, and there was actually a really cool reason behind the whole scenario that he was actually able to interact with, and I really enjoyed that. If I think about the system itself, let's say that I had made a combatant and I were engaged in the combat system, I don't know that I would enjoy it. And that's nothing against the system. It's just that my tastes run a little bit more simple, right? I like for when I enter combat, I like for there to be system because I do appreciate game mechanics, but I would like for it to flow in a more narrative way. And I felt that when we got into combat, it became very jargony, and it became very much this and that and the other thing. And then if we do this and we increase this number by that and it drops by this, and that's fine. I just don't particularly like that type of system for combat myself, right? It's a personal taste issue. So that would be but at the same time, I'll say that sometimes systems that are jargony in that way become so when everybody is familiar, right? And so some of that stuff can kind of recede into the background. So I think it's worth to keep playing with it to see if that can happen. But as my first impression, that's what I would say.
Brandon, what about you?
I had a lot of fun, Alice. I think that the story that you presented us with was really a cool one. I have seen you do similar inspired stories before, but it played out totally differently. I love the typewriter at the end, and that's the what has been going on and kind of been pulling people who got near this town into it is this this ghost. I guess we're not done with it. It seemed actually to be a great close point for that story to me, where we got to it, or go to town and just quickly wrap up there. That's your wonderful 1 hour episode of an investigative TV show.
The one shot
to me.
Yeah.
And combat, yes, by all means. I think that for the night, that's a hot item on the discussion. This I've played one session of AMP before this. I came in, and when Kevin, John, and I, we had a character creation together. Aldo made a character later on because he was able to join us, and so people were talking about what they wanted to be. And so Kevin was talking about his ratman and such, and John talked about the spectral character that he was going to play. And neither of them at that point had really combat abilities that they were going to lean into. And so I said, well, what if I were, kind of the combat part of that, to give you guys support on that? And they're like, yeah. And so pattern is actually what attracted me to first. And so then I was like, well, if this is going to be it, I tied to Kevin because of his the vermin and making things, and patterns are created. And so I said, well, maybe your family made me, and now I'm tied to you because you actually go into the field. And I designed myself to hit combat marks by all means. I didn't try and min-max it, but I tried to get as much as I could while maintaining that philosophy of like the D&D style monk of the unarmed combatant.
Mm-hmm.
I similarly felt outclassed in the fight because I didn't shine one bit. I had 4 actions that I could not use during that first combat round. I got 2 actions, and then other than that, I was just, for God's sakes, don't hit me. And then Kevin couldn't hit to lend support, which was sad, I thought, on that. And by all means, I'm not trying to drive things up in that fashion. But yeah, I felt like I was definitely outclassed in this situation. But then again, I guess 3 guys were paying attention to me.
Yes, 3 guys
or
were.
Part of it, at least. Well, 1 guy actually quickly went over to Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I had a great time. The story was fantastic. I think that the system can do a lot of good things. The combat system itself on the burn initiative and such, I think part of the jargony is, well, none of us had played this. And so we were trying to make certain that we were interacting with that system and learning it. And I think that it will get faster and faster.
So for me, I was trying to make sure that I wasn't going to just make a cakewalk fight that you were just going to walk all over. You guys, because of the nature of the story, I wanted it to be a challenge. I am sorry that you felt that you couldn't shine, because from my angle on it, they were getting beaten the tar out of by you. And so, from my math on it, I'm like, well, this guy's already down. The intention was, if I had another round, that basically Rizzo would face Merle, because they're the two, they're more the pick on somebody your own size kind of thing, and you were supposed to take on the 2 brutes until basically either they were going down, and I'm pretty sure you were going to take them down pretty soon, because their defenses were, you were wearing them down pretty well, even though you were hitting them hard. And Aldo, it was my intention was basically, if somebody stopped the typewriter, it would stop this fight. And once you go out, you guys will see what happened to that. But I found it really cool that Aldo did that. I'm glad that you guys had a lot of fun with the story. I'm glad that I know that what you're talking about, Brandon, because I did a superhero game that was based on the 1920s. This was actually really inspired by the fact that it was 1950s.
That's not even the game that I was thinking of.
Oh,
but,
okay. The root of the story started with a 1950s diner. That was the first image that went in my head. So, I think for the jargony, I think that I want to go and do a little bit more reading before I stat out my next fights, and see if I can balance it a little more between you guys, because I think that I was trying to play up to what I expected of your combat stats a little too hard. This was my first time running it. I played and run AMP before, but it definitely has a different feel to it on that. So I hope that I didn't make it miserable for anybody.
I was not miserable.
No. That is not what not at all. That's we're all learning the system. It's just I gotta, as I said, I'll go with it. As I said for the character, I dumped a fair number of points into being half decent at both, and I just wasn't at the one at all.
And feeling useless is not fun for anybody. So I totally get it. Maybe I can rebalance it and see how that works on the next try. And Brandon, did you have anything else before we close out?
Yeah, just that if for me the concept is that I'm specially designed so that people would have a fighting chance
Mhm.
against the demon like creatures, and it didn't seem like I was giving us the fighting chance. It seemed like without something like me, it would have been just all over the floor. And I get it. You're bringing the threat to what's there.
Mhm. I
The
didn't
fact
want
that
a
it was the only
cakewalk.
fight is just the
Yeah.
only unfortunate part, perhaps, because if you ramp up to that big boss fight, then you kind of see, and at one point, I'm able to go through and fight with mooks, and by all means, I'm somewhat restricted because I am trying to go unarmed. When Kevin's able to use his gun to bring things down, and then later on, you see that's super difficult. But Alice, I think you did a good job, and it's so
Mhm.
hard to judge on a system you haven't really played
Mhm.
what
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Take away from it. Take away from it. Like you're always fun to play with. Love it when you jam, and that it is definitely a task taking on a new system. Rest assured, of my many years behind the screen, I know.
thank you guys very much, and thank you all for watching.
Hey Blades! Thank you so much for watching another Babies with Knives video. If you liked what you saw, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Go follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and come join the conversation in our Discord server.
If you want to keep content like this coming, come check out our Patreon and consider subscribing. All links for this is provided in the description below. And remember, come back next time to get honed!